Wow. Welcome back to the Chiller7, the show that was supposed to have a brand new microphone, but apparently Amazon thought it best to just sort of say my package was delivered and then not actually deliver it. I'm still not actually sure what's happened because Amazon says they delivered it, and I did get something. I did get this Xbox battery I ordered, but like my actual microphone, my actual expensive microphone is nowhere to be found, and I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure where it could possibly be. I'm just, I was really looking forward to getting a better microphone and really improving the quality of my content. But that first major improvement to what I've been doing, but nope, it's gone. I technically own it apparently, but it's not here. So it might have been intercepted by a neighbor, but I don't know. Like here's the thing. What happened? Here's the thing. What happened? Like I went to my mailbox to pick up my package, and like I found this thing just shoved straight in there. Like it was completely full, right? And so like it was like, so the box itself was bigger than the mailbox. It was like pressed down in there, really squeezed in tight. So I had to like stand there for like, I want to say like 3-5 minutes, right? 3 to 5 minutes, just like trying to wiggle it out, trying to like reach my hand in there, try to like press together, try to like slide it out. It took me a while, but I finally got it. And when I opened the package, it was just this thing, like the battery, which of course I wanted, but it wasn't like the reason I went out there. The reason I wanted to go out there and get my package was for my microphone, essentially, so I could, do this show. So like, apparently UPS or Amazon or whatever, they just, laid the package out somewhere, and I don't know where it is. It was dark by the time I went home. So like, I spent a couple of minutes, 10, 15 minutes, like going around looking for it. And I have no idea where it is. No idea at all. And it's just, oof, it's just so baffling. So baffling, man. Oof. I am not too impressed. I'm not even sure who to blame. Like, is it Amazon? Is it UPS? Was it like the shit? Was it like stolen? That's always a possibility. I don't know. Like, I would find it weird that they would steal a package that wasn't in the mailbox. Like the one in the mailbox was like untouched. So they were certainly here. They certainly dropped something off. They dropped off my battery, but no, my actual expensive microphone is nowhere to be found. And yeah, I'm gonna have to maybe report that to Amazon. This isn't the first time this has happened, where like a package has like mysteriously disappeared under questionable circumstances. It's so bizarre. I'm not too impressed with them at the moment. And I was really looking forward to getting that microphone. I think that was like the most expensive thing I've ordered since like I got my capture card. That was about like $160. And I'm just like, oof. No. Oh, no. My 2DS was more expensive than that. I've gotten that since. My 2DS that I still love and still play, by the way. Yeah, Samus Returns. Do I have the case here? I might as well show it on screen. I think I have it. No, it's not laying out here, but Samus Returns still holds up, right? Like 2 years later, returning to it, playing it again, experiencing this masterpiece again for the second time after like, letting it settle for a while. I do think this is one of the better Metroid games. I don't want to say the best because I need to replay like all the Prime games, but to see how I feel about those. But like among the actual 2D Metroid games, the mainline series, right? The first one, Zero Mission, Metroid 2, Super, this, Fusion, Other M, I suppose, kind of falls in like mainline territory. Or it could be its own thing. I think everyone wants to acknowledge Other M as its own thing. Looking at all of those, like I think Samus Returns is up there, possibly my second favorite, not my first. which is probably always going to be Super Metroid, but it's up there. It's a strong second, and it's actually better than Super in a lot of ways. Purely from like a gameplay combat perspective, because I think the combat in this is like a series best. Like people always complained about like the counter mechanic and how that works, but like personally, I find it addicting. It makes like the enemies extremely aggressive. There's a lot going on. They sort of surround you. You have like that three-dimensional, that 360 degree aiming. It's just phenomenal how much fun this game is to play and like explore and like hunt down and destroy those Metroids. It's so satisfying, and it probably has the best boss fights in the entire series. Better than Prime, better than Super. It just there aren't a whole lot of them like bosses that aren't Metroids, but the Metroids themselves are fun to fight. But I think like the bosses, I think there's like technically 3 that aren't Metroids, right? You have like the digging robot. I think it's called like Diggernaut. You have like the Queen Metroid, and you have like Ridley at the end. All of which are downright phenomenal. I just adore Samus Returns. Ridley, I haven't like fought Ridley again yet, but like I remember I had like 100% completion when I fought him, and I still had a lot of trouble. I was just like, my hands were cramping up. It was just, if the boss is as good as I remember it being, Ridley might be one of the best fights in gaming history. Now, I'm going to have to like replay the fight before like I really give my final thoughts on that. But like, yeah, I think it might be up there. Again, I'm gonna have to replay the game again, so I'm not going completely off my memory alone. But like, if my memory is right, and I think it is, I think that is the case. That the fights in this game are phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to them. So to encountering these end game bosses, they're just phenomenal. I love Samus Returns. There were people who like attacked it, and we are going to be talking about Taiwan and China and Blizzard, because of course we are. That's what we do on this show. We attack third-party game developers because they're incompetent and stupid, and people don't acknowledge that enough. And I really want to say this about Blizzard in particular, is that like this is not really a new thing, right? Like this problem with China, I think, has been sort of and its quality control. It's kind of been ongoing for a really long time, right? The Warcraft movie only made a profit because of China, right? Because of that market, and it's like absolute shit taste. They were able to make their money back on this terrible Warcraft movie that no one liked, and it was just oof. So of course they're going to pander to them in this really disgusting way. I haven't been following the situation super closely. There's been I mostly just been watching the backlash towards it, but oof, it is something else. I do think it really needs to be said is that like Blizzard actively hates its American audience. They don't really care about you and what you're interested in and what you want to see from them. They just want to make these cheap, shitty mobile games and just sell them to the Chinese people, and just fuck actually making new and interesting console games or Nintendo games. Like, just make Diablo 4s, make mobile games, do this stuff. It's really bizarre to see them constantly shoot themselves in the foot like this, really alienating their fan base. And they've been doing this a lot lately. I think a lot of people sort of have given them a pass for a lot of the shit they pull, like with Overwatch and how they like manipulate the numbers to make it look like it's some like massive phenomenon when it never really was. I'm just, oof. I hate Blizzard. I personally have hated them since the whole Overwatch thing, with them like seriously coming out and trying to pretend that having like a colorful shooter was some like novel idea that's never been done before. Splatoon came out the year before, was better, has maintained its popularity, is better balanced, has better online play, a more interesting concept. Like Overwatch was fake. Like I really do mean this. I do mean this in like the AAA sense. Uh, Funny that I mentioned fakeness when talking about China, but Overwatch is fake. Its popularity is fake. Like the sort of a hype behind it was sort of fabricated. The esports scene has no real momentum. It's entirely corporate. It's entirely like this thing that's being pushed by this like really expensive marketing team. It was just bizarre seeing them like manufacture controversies, appeal to these certain disgusting individuals, try and push Overwatch as an esports scene when it's not esports valuable at all, and seeing them commit censorship because this is not a new thing. I've been hearing people complain about Blizzard censoring content for the longest time now, right? Since Overwatch came out, I think, is when it started, where they actively started policing what what people were saying, not only in the game itself, but on other platforms. So if you had a username that was tied to a Blizzard account that you used somewhere else, Blizzard would punish you if you said something about anything they didn't like, it didn't approve of, and we're seeing like the end result of that sort of like police state culture, where they're sort of actively like oppressing people who don't agree with their bottom lines, who don't support them, who don't like agree with their decision to sell out to China. Like American fans who are sick and tired of this bullshit, and it really is bullshit. You cannot tell me it's not. And they're in full damage control right now. Like Mr. Medicare did a live stream. I watched a little bit of it. He was basically just going over some of the damage control they've done, from their Chinese PR team or whatever, like trying to tell people that this wasn't done because of China. It totally was. It's blatantly. So I don't understand why they're pretending that it isn't, because that's just making the situation worse. It's so baffling. I am not a fan of what's been going down with Blizzard. Maybe we could watch some, I don't know, some update videos. I don't know who's covering this, because like I have no idea. I hate to like promote shill YouTubers, but it's not even Blizzard. Yeah, Blizzard's ultimate hypocrisy. Upper echelon gamers and some ordinary gamers. Angry Joe show. Yeah. I don't know. You want to watch Angry Joe and see what his thing is? Now, Boogie2988. Yeah, he was complaining on Twitter like earlier how he doesn't get any views. He's only gotten 60K for this. Well, granted, it was updated like 3 hours ago. Mr. Medicare. I guess we could play Mr. Medicare. Let's see here.
Boy, Bobby took a few plane flights out to the fun island of Mr. X. Japan to know who you are, because our bosses in Shanghai are upset. This led people to try to be innovative, think outside the box, use those gamer skills that they built up to really figure a workaround to this problem. It's a real predicament, a fucking Sphinx riddle, isn't it? So they started being very subtle about it, changing their gamer tags, going to Blizzard and asking for names like Free Hong Kong, please, and Taiwan #1. Blizzard apparently wasn't very thrilled.
I love how I could just skip anywhere in this video and just come up with some like hilarious bullshit that fans haven't done in retaliation to Blizzard's nonsense. I've seen people like go on stream talking about like during Hearthstone tournaments and like come out in support of Hong Kong. Like I've seen May become like a symbol of the resistance. Yeah. Blizzard is like this goes into like SJW culture and why I don't really care for it. Like they are so they desperately try so hard to present themselves as being egalitarian, how they like want to treat everybody equally, and how they respect like different cultures and ideas and stuff like that. But when something like this comes out, and they just are trying so hard to completely stamp it out, to completely damage control. They're not really listening to people's opinions, right? They don't really care about that. It really just goes to show you that it's the weird double standards these people have when it comes to this. Oof. Yeah, Tim Sweeney has been coming out talking all this shit. The CEO of Epic, if you're not aware, Mark Cern, is that his name? He's like a former Twitter employee, not Twitter, Blizzard employee who worked on like World of Warcraft. Yeah. Blizzard games are like super overrated. I do not understand why Blizzard has an entire convention dedicated to themselves. Like what have they made in the past 10 years that's in any way relevant? Like, I don't think the last truly big phenomenon they released, an actual genuine phenomenon that actually has like genuine enthusiasm and like an actual fan base behind it, whereas World of Warcraft, that came out in like what, 2005, and since then they've declined in popularity. They stopped making Warcraft. They stopped making StarCraft. Went downhill. All of their brands went downhill. StarCraft 2 wasn't very good. Diablo 3 wasn't very good. Overwatch is horrible. They seriously tried to sell like I don't know what even is Hearthstone. I've seen it like played, but like I'm so baffled by its popularity. It looks like some cheap mobile card game or whatever. It's so baffling that like this thing has like a tournament behind it, and that like it's apparently taken seriously. Like probably because like Blizzard is sort of cultivates this artificial like tournament esports scene with like sponsorships, and people like play the games for money. And I imagine that might be it. I think that might be the part of like the appeal of Blizzard, is that it sort of has this like community that sort of can reasonably expect to make money by playing their games. Because I've heard stories about like people paying real money for like resources in World of Warcraft and stuff like that. Diablo 3, I think, has an auction house where you can sort of like spend real money for items. I think that culture sort of is a big reason why people are willing to defend them. It's a lot like why people will defend like stuff like FNAF or Undertale or all these terrible indie games, because there's money in defending them, right? Because they're stream bait, they're appealing to like these degenerate audiences. Like, they're not fun video games, and it's a major reason why I don't take esports seriously, because it's too corporate. It isn't like a natural progression of the game. It doesn't feel like an actual enthusiast hobby or pastime. It feels like artificial. It feels like when you compare something like Super Smash Bros. Melee, right, where you have this like dedicated group of fans who come together to like push this game to its limits and really master it, like really do everything they can to be like the absolute best at the game. When you compare that to like stuff like Overwatch, like it just. And again, there are like lots of fake individuals in like the Smash community now, because Melee, Smash is now the most popular fighting game in the world. But again, that natural progression was there. I feel like Nintendo, especially Sakurai, are kind of put off by the competitive scene because like of their expectation that they should be supported by the company to so they can like make a living off of playing a video game like professionally. It's just, why don't you just play the game for fun? And that's why I'm just so put off by this whole esports thing. Like people seriously play Overwatch competitively. Oh yeah, I think Twitch. This is news I don't think anybody talked about. Twitch actually dropped like Overwatch streaming rights. Like they did not want to have exclusive rights to it anymore because Overwatch simply isn't that popular. Like much, it's like the PS4 of AAA multiplats. It just it doesn't have any real momentum behind it. People will hype it up, and people hyped it up and talked about it, but in the end, it was just a pile of nothing. Really, Overwatch was like embarrassing bad. Oof. Yeah. I have issues with like the melee scene. Believe me, I do. I agree. Like items need to be enabled. No. There needs to be more variety. Here's the thing about Smash tournaments is that like if you're gonna make a tournament about Super Smash Brothers, you should probably make it so that like make it flexible, like really push the game. Like I imagine the fundamentals for like playing a coin match are completely different than like the standard 4-on-4 four stock sort of like a one-on-one fight. Like having a four-way fight would be different. Having an eight-way fight would be different. Like you would have having items on would radically change the game. Like this is stuff you have to keep in mind when playing a competitive match. Like learning how to do those things is skill. Like dealing with the random elements is skill. It just I don't like how they essentially dumb down the game in order to get it to play more like a traditional fighting game. Like if you want to play a traditional fighting game, play a traditional fighting game. You don't have to like neuter Smash Bros. It's really annoying. Let's see. Yeah, esports is like okay. Here's the reason esports is being pushed. Like corporations they actually believe that they can make sports like money off of this. They actually think if they put Street Fighter V on ESPN, they'll be able to get people interested in video games and get like the same sort of like money that like top tier athletes get. Like they want David Wong to be like making LeBron James money, or they want him to bring in that kind of money and attention to them. And this isn't going to work for a whole lot of reasons. Namely, like gaming is a niche hobby. It's not like gaming is niche, and then like specific games like Street Fighter, like Mortal Kombat, like Injustice, like Smash Bros. Are a niche within a niche. So like someone like me would really like watching someone play competitive. What do I like? I don't think I like watching anything. Okay, I wouldn't watch anything, and I love video games, right? There are plenty of people like me out there. Someone who likes watching Smash Bros. Might not necessarily like watching Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or anything else because they just want to watch Street Fighter, right? As opposed to like sports fans who will always watch games with like teams they're interested in following, right? You will see like people know who the players are, they know who the coaches are, they know like where all these teams are located, they're like emotionally invested in what happens, they know what's like happening in the players' personal lives, they are following these situations close. Like gaming doesn't have that kind of skill ceiling. Like there's no real pedigree to playing games at a high level. If anything, it's kind of looked down on, right? And I can totally see why, because most gamers, and I'm being completely serious here, most gamers are complete losers, and that is a well-deserved reputation. Like the amount of times I've seen people at my workplace bitch about people who play video games is just astounding, and it's kind of surprising considering how much I play video games, right? How much I agree with them, because when you have all these people, young men in particular, millennials, spending all of their free time neglecting work, neglecting their responsibilities, neglecting spouses, neglecting children, to sit at home and play PlayStation and Xbox, working at McDonald's or whatever, not doing anything with their life, it's very difficult to respect them. And I completely agree with that mindset. Like those people, people like this need to get real jobs. Like, they need to acknowledge that what they do is a hobby and they're not entitled to be making money off of esports. Like Zero, the Super Smash Bros. Guy, he was on Twitter the other day bitching about how he only made like 40,000 that year. He won like 56 Smash Bros. Tournament. Like, you are fortunate to be making money at all, and you're bitching about how you only made 40K. It just like he believes he deserves more than that for playing a video game. It's just I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Let me get caught up in my chat here. Yep, yeah. Smash is not a real fighter. It is a different kind of fighter, but Smash is a party game. Let's see. Street Fighter V is a bad fighting game. Yep, yep. It's horrible, horrible. Street Fighter V. I don't even know why people are like Street Fighter V is a great example of like how you can take this abysmal launch that everyone hated, like, you know, this terrible, terrible game, like easily the worst Street Fighter game ever made. I would imagine. I haven't been following every Street Fighter release. I don't know, like, I'm not entitled to like I don't know all the spin-offs or anything like that. Street Fighter V was like this abysmal release. And yet people will still play it because, maybe I'll be good at the esports scene. Maybe I'll win tournaments. Maybe I'll make money. It's like they don't care about the quality of the game at all. They just want the money. They want the fame. They want the attention. They want the notoriety. They want to be competitive. Like, it's just, they don't actually factor in the actual quality of the game at all because they're just going to buy it anyway because they think it's going to someday make them successful. I hate this mindset. Just, again, get a real job. Let's see. Esports feels like the milking a sub-market. Yeah, it is. Yep. It does not. It does not. Like, this does nothing to sell games to like the general public. Like, nobody is going to like tune into ESPN, watch Street Fighter V, and then go, this looks like a really good video game. I'm gonna go out and buy it. Nobody does that. In fact, like, Street Fighter V was mocked among normies because of this situation of Street Fighter V being on ESPN, a channel where it does not belong. It just, that was like, I was so mad about that. I guess I still am. You know, simply seeing that was just disgusting to me. Okay. They have to shove it on these big established stations because if they establish their own stations, if they establish a gaming channel like a G42, something where they could, talk about games and like be geeky and like sort of appeal to their to a nerdy audience, like, that wouldn't take off. Nobody would watch it. So they sort of have to do this thing where they sort of have to, like, they're trying to trick audiences into taking esports seriously. And I don't think it's really panning out. I don't like the behavior of a lot of the people behind the scenes. Like, people always go on about like Low Tire God and like how he acts and stuff like that. But it's not just him. Like, I don't know, seeing Hungry Box like rage at Nintendo for like not acknowledging the professional scene, seeing people like rage about not making enough money. It's just, I just hate it, and it's so ridiculous. Let's see. Yeah, everybody plays games. Everybody likes games, but there's this like stigma towards gamers for a reason. It's just, it's very well deserved. I expect a lot of people who complain about gamers, who like make fun of them, they would like video games. Like, there are so many genres out there. I find it very difficult that like someone who likes something like goofy crime dramas or mysteries would not like something like Ace Attorney, because that is essentially a visual novel with like a minor puzzle solving aspect. And I find it very difficult that people would not like that. Like, Professor Layton has like all these crazy logic puzzles. Like, I don't see why that would not be appealing to certain individuals. Like, it does. I feel like right now, Nintendo is essentially dominating the scene when it comes to like, quality, unique gaming for everyone. But the issue is that like so many great games that appeal to like certain audiences simply don't find it. Like I talked a little bit about like a Codename Steam, right? This is a pretty good Codename Steam sort of like has this historical fiction angle where like it takes all of these like classic literary characters and puts them into like this crazy setting where you fight aliens and it's so cool and so unique and they put so much time and effort into like researching these characters and like developing their move sets and like doing all this stuff, but you have to be an enthusiast to really appreciate it. And that's kind of why I love it so much, because like I do like this stuff and I do know a lot about it, and just seeing it in a Nintendo game was just phenomenal for me. But I don't know, the game never found its audience. Like Trace Memory, or not Trace, Sing. They were making adventure games, you know, like Trace Memory, like Hotel Dusk, I think. Those games were supposed to be tailored to people who liked logic puzzles, stuff, people who liked Brain Age and stuff like that. They never really found their audience either. Sometimes things do take off, like Nintendogs. Nintendogs was a huge hit, like a pet simulator for your DS. You know, people loved that. I do. By the way, we need a new Nintendogs for Switch. Love Nintendogs. Like sometimes we get massive hits like that, like Wii Sports, like Wii in general, like the DS line, like some of these casual games. Sometimes we get that, and then other times, like too many times, we sort of see this situation where really quality products get attacked and like dismissed for no reason. It's so frustrating. Oh yeah. I was gonna. This might be a bit off topic, but I was going to talk about Death Stranding for a bit. I was just thinking about this while I was in the gym. Death Stranding right now is sort of in that pre-release phase where everybody knows that this game is going to be a complete disaster. Like, it's coming out next month. You know, Kojima is talking shit on Twitter. He's acting all arrogant. There's all this talk, and the gameplay footage we've seen looks terrible. No one is impressed. The game is just looking like more and more of a disaster, a $60 million disaster, right? I don't think the budget's that high. That was around what Metal Gear Solid 5 was. It's still pretty expensive, I imagine. You know, this really expensive release for the PS4. Death Stranding, oof. We're in that phase where we know what's going to be terrible, right? And the backlash is still significantly less than what we were getting from the Wii U years, like from 2015 onward, where like every single Nintendo game was suddenly getting like demolished by critics and fans. You know, like Color Splash, Star Fox Zero, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Paper Mario, Mario and Luigi, Paper Jam. Like the list goes on and on and on. Like all of these outlets just attacking these games. Like, is this Miyamoto's failure the worst Paper Mario game? It just, you know, it just went on and on and on like that. And it was going on pre-release. Like, how many people were like, you know, trying to pretend there was a problem with Star Fox Zero's controls before it even came out, right? And yet no one is really talking about Death Stranding at all. Like, Yang Ye is still defending it, I imagine. I did that like stream a while back where like I live streamed his live stream of reacting to that Death Stranding footage, and he was like desperately trying to damage control it on stream. Like, you don't see that with Nintendo products. You don't see that happen, and it really just goes to show you just how strong of a stranglehold Sony actually has on this industry, where like you can't really openly talk badly about them, about anything. Oof. Let's see. Street Fighter 5 was awesome. Yeah, stream culture is like cancer. It's really propping up games that do not deserve to be talked about. Like, the big examples I can think of, you know, are games like FNAF, like Undertale, but there are major AAA releases too that sort of rely on this weird sort of Twitch culture, like Destiny. I really need to go off on a tangent about Destiny because there's this weird cult-like mentality among Destiny fans right now that Bungie has fixed the game, that it's better now, that you have to go back and play Destiny. And we've seen this like 5 or 6 times at this point. Like every time they release a new expansion, these people come out of the woodwork and start like talking about how much better it is and how like they fixed all the balancing problems and how the story is better and how Bungie is like listening to their fans, and like it's all complete horseshit. Like we went through this in between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, where it turned out they didn't fix anything. And no matter how hard these people try to promote the game, they sort of do this thing where like people don't want. They simply say, okay, their narrative is that like everybody who hates Destiny is not giving the updates a fair chance. Like you can't fairly judge Destiny 2 now without playing all of its expansions, with all of the updates, like the most recent version of it. And if you have kept playing with it and don't like the game, then you're just in denial because you wouldn't keep playing it if you didn't like it to a certain extent. So that's their narrative. They're just sort of trying to create this culture where you're expected to like diligently play this game like a drone just because it exists. It's disgusting. And I think No Man's Sky might have like a similar culture because like I've been noticing the same kind of attitude with them, like with the updates where like people will like insist, swear up and down like the game is good now, and there'll be an explosion of popularity when like they release an update, and then it'll die off again because the game still isn't good. It doesn't. Updates cannot fix a broken game, like a fundamentally flawed one. Like I was watching like a free-to-play Destiny 2 footage, like Delrith from Angry Joe Show, the Angry Delrith Show. Like he made a review on it. I didn't even sit through the review. I was just watching the gameplay footage, and I was just like, this still looks boring as fuck. I'm just, I felt the same way when I watched Boogie 2988 launched a Twitch stream of Destiny 1 where like he was trying to tell himself like, oh, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. No, you're not. You're doing this for money. Like just admit that to yourself. Gosh. Brain Age is making a comeback. I'm really looking forward to that. Actually, I've been wanting to train my brain because this is a bit of an anecdotal story here, but I did actually in 2016 use Brain Age to train for an exam, and it actually worked. I actually retained information, and it was just, it's bizarre. It really does work. I'm not sure if it was a placebo or what, but like it really does. People don't think about that, but the way you think really impacts your behavior. So like adjusting it. So you pick up good habits, think about things, learn how to resolve problems. That's important. Schools don't teach you that, by the way. You sort of have to learn how to do it yourself. But yeah, like Brain Age is great. I really hope the new one's good. They haven't made a new one in a while. A couple of years, I would think. Yeah, Ring Fit Adventure. I'm really interested in seeing that one because I am. Oh, maybe I should talk about this. It is the children as well. Check it out. I have invested in a portable what do they call these things? Resistance band, right? They're a lot stronger than they look. They sort of pull back on you as you sort of. It works better when you stand up. They sort of pull down against your like muscles, so it's sort of like lifting weights, and they're a lot more portable than weights. So I've actually been able to carry these around with me and use them during breaks at work, which has been like a lifesaver in times where like I don't have the time to. When I simply don't have the time to like go to the gym before work, and I just spend a couple of minutes like working out, doing stuff, and it works. It really does work, and it's little things like that that sort of lead to a better life. Like thinking about how you can fit in things like that in your day. It's just phenomenal. I love it. I bought a jump rope too, and I've been doing that. I've been trying to do that every day. Jump roping is like really good for cardio and like building endurance and stuff like that. So I've been jump roping a lot. Whenever I have time, it's phenomenal. And Ring Fit Adventure, I'm really wondering. I will be live streaming that on Twitch, by the way. So I'll be talking about my experiences with that. So please subscribe to twitch.tv/Super Nintendo Power if you're interested in seeing that live. That is something I'm really, really interested in seeing, really demonstrating and seeing whether or not it works and whether or not it's an improvement over Wii Fit U, which, by the way, was a great starting point for really getting in shape, because like it really talks to you about like maintaining your weight and the benefits of like improving posture and stuff like that. Ring Fit Adventure might be an improvement over that. It's just a matter of seeing how exactly it works. How long it is, whether it keeps you playing. I really wonder. I wonder if it'll like be built so that you can go through the game multiple times to like keep your exercise routine going. I'm really wondering. Let's see. I'm really excited for Ring Fit Adventure. It comes out on the 18th, and I do have it pre-ordered, so I am going to be getting it. I will be streaming it, alongside Witcher 3 and whatever else is coming out. Like all sorts. This is like the craziest week for Switch I think I've ever seen in my life. I think I'll be spending like something like $300 on everything that's coming out. Like The Witcher 3 is coming out, Ring Fit Adventure is coming out, Digimon's coming out. I'm not getting Overwatch because fuck Overwatch. But that's coming out too. Little Town Hero is coming out. I'm not buying that either for personal reasons. But crazy, crazy, crazy week for Switch. When you're having like 5, 6, 7 like major releases in a week, like this is like the dominant gaming platform. Like there hasn't been that many games in like the PS4's entire lifespan, which is just embarrassing. Oof. Ooh, yeah. I'm Death Stranding. I don't know. I strongly suspect the gaming media is going to damage control Death Stranding to a certain extent. Like I imagine they're going to like say that like, ooh, it's something different, it's something unique. You have to appreciate it for being different. Like, at least he tried to make something different from Metal Gear. That's going to be the kind of narrative they push. Whether or not people agree with it is another matter entirely. I will say this: I think the Metal Gear name is actually bigger than Kojima's own. So, like, I think when Konami goes back to like actually making Metal Gear, and if they actually make it good, if Kojima is going to lose all of his credibility. Like it's going to be interesting to see if that happens. It really should happen, but like Konami is run by like completely out of touch old people. So yeah. I love Devil's Third. Devil's Third is I really wish they made a Switch port. That is like one of the games I really, really want to see, and I would hope they would do that. I would support that. I would rebuy that game for the chance to play online again. I love Devil Third. Let's see. What's the No Man's Sky argument? What are you talking about? The update thing? Is that what you're talking about? The only good streamer multiplayer. Sea of Thieves, I think, has gotten that like sort of the updates make it better treatment, but like I haven't seen it a lot. Like it's like Microsoft is trying to push that angle, but it never really went anywhere. Like people were talking about that. Ooh, it's better now for like with that first major update, but I haven't heard anything about it since. And again, this goes into what I was saying. Like, why pay for early access? Just wait for the game to be good. Why damage control by saying that like, oh, they can fix it with a patch? Why did they not just wait and release the game when it was good? Like, it's so baffling. I would be so angry if Fire Emblem Three Houses sort of just ended before the time skip, and it was like, okay, wait for the update so you can like play the finish your route and like finish the game, I would be so angry. Like it would be like a literal time skip. Like you would literally have to wait for the 5-year period to end before you could go and marry Edelgard. Just damn. Oh yeah. Should I confirm that on stream right now? Yeah, I think my Fire Emblem Three Houses waifu is Edelgard. I've been trying to deny it, but I don't know, man. She's just like she's so sure of herself and so confident. I just really like her sort of a mindset, or her sort of a determination, I should say. I admire that, and she doesn't let anything sway her. It's just she's so confident in herself, even when she's like being complete, even when she's complete bullshit. It's just, ooh. Let's see. It was like I think it was a legal exam. I want to say it was something like that. Yeah. There were a couple of exams. Yeah, exams in general. I think it was the DS. It was a DS game that was re-released on Wii U. So I think it was like a port of the original. I want to say it was. I think it was like the first one. Yeah. Yeah. The Wii Fit U mini games were actually legitimately really, really fun. So like more of that in Ring Fit Adventure is very, very, very welcome. It's just so much fun. I love seeing that. I really, really enjoy like it's been a while since I played Wii Fit Adventure. Do I even have my balance board? Yeah, I have it. I don't think I've used it since I moved, actually. Maybe I should do that again. I don't know. The reason I stopped playing Wii Fit, it's because I wanted to build more muscle, and like that got me into weightlifting, and that got me into like the gym, and that kind of made Wii Fit kind of pointless. I mean, it did what it was supposed to do, and it was fun while doing it, but like the thing is, like when you start doing it for real or start getting more invested, it's kind of difficult to like justify playing Wii Fit U, and that's one of the reasons I think Ring Fit Adventure might be a little bit better, because like it'll keep you invested. It'll get you stretching more. That's something I've been trying to do, is like stretch more, like try to find what about me is like off. I think my posture is terrible. Like I don't know, like just doing a bunch of yoga poses, I think, in a video game might do a lot to like help me improve that and figure that out. Oof. So yeah, I'm actually super hyped for that one. It's not my most hyped game. It's definitely the most hyped new IP of October, I think. Like I'm not excited for The Witcher 3 at all. I'm really well. I'm excited about riffing it. Like I'll probably live stream it on Twitch. I'll probably like talk about the story. Yeah. Maybe talk about the books, because I am the only person alive who has read the book. So I'll actually be able to talk about like the inconsistencies and the problems they have, and just hopefully kind of debunk this narrative that like The Witcher 3 is like some spectacular paragon of game design. Like I don't know what it is with like these Western RPGs. Like there are all these ignorant motherfuckers who will come out and seriously try to pretend that Mass Effect is some novel inspired sci-fi adventure, right? When it's basically just like a cheap knockoff of Star Trek. Like it has the same sort of. I've never seen Star Trek, so I probably shouldn't say that, but that's the vibe I get, right? There's nothing there. Like you're just, you should be nice to aliens. We need to work together to defeat the Reapers. The moral conflicts aren't interesting. I find the way I don't know. Like the thing about Mass Effect, I think people. It's been a while since I played the game, so I can't really talk about specifics anymore. Um, your choices never mattered in Mass Effect. That's the thing that really gets me about Mass Effect. And one of the reasons I'm so critical of people angry about Mass Effect 3 is that like it was so obvious to me as a player that your choices did not amount to anything within like the first couple of hours, right? Merely talking to people should like indicate that what you're doing doesn't really matter in like the long run. Like you're basically going along this pre-aligned path, across these incredibly generic, uninspired planets with these boring alien races dealing with these like lame conflicts that like you don't care about. It's just I do not like Mass Effect fans. I really do think someone mentioned to me once that like it feels like Mass Effect fans primarily care about like their waifus and like the sex scenes and stuff like that. And going by my experience with them, seeing like people lust after like femshep uh, and stuff like that, it just that's my opinion too. And I've said this before, but like the Metroid Prime trilogy is a far better sci-fi trilogy because if you think about it, the games are all radically different. They all have like their own unique mechanics, their own unique features, all of which like blend together, like creating completely different experiences. Like just compare like the environments like Metroid Prime 3 to Mass Effects. Like the difference is like astounding. Mass Effects is like generic and uninspired. Meanwhile, like Metroid Prime 3 are like swinging through these like this city in the sky, exploring ancient ruins, like fighting these crazy giant robots. There's so much in Metroid Prime 3 that sticks out in my mind way more than Mass Effect. I hate Mass Effect. I hate it. All of the Game of the Year contenders of like the past decade since Resident Evil 4 have been terrible. Like, except for Zelda. Like Zelda is like the only consistently good series I can think of, and I think that's mostly because like if Zelda did not get nominated, did not win Game of the Year, like fans would riot and they would know something is up. It's so usually the Game of the Year is complete shit. Like Game of the Year 2007 is like BioShock, I think. Complete shit. Like 2008 was like what? What was 2008? I don't know. Was that? I think it was when Mass Effect came out. Like 2009 was like Uncharted 2. Complete bullshit. That game isn't even mediocre, and yet we're seriously supposed to buy this as one of the best games of all time, one of the best games of that year. Really, like 2010 was like, what was 2010? 2013 was like The Last of Us. Complete garbage. Like every single year. Who do you know who seriously even remembers Dragon Quest Inquisition, the game of the year for 2014, according to these gaming outlets? No one. It is entirely a scam to promote these products, and then they're like immediately forgotten afterwards in favor of like the next shiny thing. I really wonder, are critics really going to try and present The Last of Us 2 as being better than the original? Because I think that's going to really fly in the face of what fans are going to think. I think fans are generally going to agree the first one was better. Unless you're like a complete shill and a complete drone who like just eats up anything Naughty Dog shits out. It's just, I don't know, man. PlayStation fans eat up absolute shit. It's just bizarre. That's why they insist Bloodborne is like the best game ever made, because they've never played a game before. Like seeing them seriously hype up stuff like Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man PS4, like God of War 2018, they don't know what's actually out there. It's embarrassing. Bloodborne to them is like something unique and different and visceral and something like creative. In a lot of ways, it kind of is. Like, I don't want to like devalue Bloodborne, but like, the amount of fanboys, people like Jim Sterling, who will seriously come out and try to say that like Bloodborne is one of my favorite games of all time, one of the best games ever made. It's no, just play more games, play more Nintendo, just play more Switch. I can think of like 10, 15, 20, probably more games on Switch that I know are better than Bloodborne. And yet you have these guys coming out of the woodwork trying to tell us Bloodborne's the best game ever made. Just why? I'll tell you why. It's the only game worth owning on PS4. Let's see. Donkey Kong Country 2. Ooh, that's a great one. Yeah. Donkey Kong Country 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. But it is very, very difficult. I don't blame you for being stuck on it. I could not beat it when I was a kid. This goes into like the tragedy of my childhood. Please pray for young Harmon Smith. So I was growing up, living in the middle of nowhere with nothing but my video games for company, right? And as a result, my video games fell victim to my mistakes or things that happened in my life. So essentially what happened, I got a bad report card for, I don't know, like just a bad report card. Or I don't even think I did that badly, but my mom flipped the fuck out. And she was just like, okay, no more video games. So what she did, well, first she made me cry. Like I think I cried. And then she made me go up, take my Super Nintendo, all of my games, put it in a plastic bag, take it back down to her, and then she gave it away. So that's why I did not beat Donkey Kong Country 2 as a kid, because I had to give away my Super Nintendo, and I'm still super traumatized, and I'll probably never get all those games back. I have like several of them digital, but like there's a couple I haven't been able to recover. I have most of the good ones, I think. I'm missing like some shovelware I used to have that I would like to have just for like the nostalgia factor. Like I had like the Batman game that AVGN did a video on. What's it called? Batman Forever, the one with like the Mortal Kombat engine. I did actually manage to figure out how to use the hook in that game. So like I feel really intelligent for figuring out something that James Rolfe struggled with. I struggled with it too, I remember, but oof. So yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2. I was stuck on Webb Woods when like it was when I lost my game, or when it was taken from me, when it was murdered right before my eyes. So I was not able to finish it until like over a decade later, I would say, when like I finally managed to get my Super Nintendo, get a new one, get a new copy of the game. This was back when like Donkey Kong Country 2 was not on the Wii Shop anymore. So I got a copy of the game, and then I finished it, and then I got through it. And like when I finally did it, it was like a magical feeling. This is why I say Super Nintendo games are like better than modern games, because there were so many times when like I played these old games, like with I still get this feeling when like I play Donkey Kong Country 2, when I play Yoshi's Island, when I play all this stuff, I just get like this, euphoric feeling every time I beat these games. This feeling that I don't get playing like normal modern games, because Super Nintendo games are better. There is simply no getting around that fact. They are better than games that are being made today. They actually challenge you. They're actually like interesting. They're all like they're all unique and different. They're all creative. Where are you stuck, by the way? I'm genuinely curious. I got stuck on Webb Woods, the level where you turn into the spider. What is the spider called? I want to call it Peter, just because Peter Parker, the Spider-Man. But yeah, it was Webb Woods for me. That was where I got stuck and could not continue. But like when I played it again as an adult, I still struggled on I struggled on. You start struggling on World 3. Like I actually had a conversation with someone a couple of years ago who was playing it with her. I think they were married by that point. She was playing it with her future husband. She was playing the original, and she was having a blast. And she was like, "Oh, I can't wait to play Donkey Kong Country 2." And I was just like, "You're gonna get raped." And she came back like a week later, and she was just like, "You were right. I've been raped so badly." I don't think we used that language, but that was the general idea. Oh yeah. There are so many games that like I would consider game of the year. Super Mario Maker 2. I need to be streaming that, or I need to be playing that more. I've been so busy with like other games, like getting caught up, getting through my massive backlog, which I honestly should show up on stream because it's just so ridiculous. Getting through my massive backlog, working, building my career, building my empire. That like I have not had the time to really sit down and make Super Mario Maker levels. And that's been a problem since like the first game. And it's a major reason why I'm like thinking of cutting down on my game purchases. Because like I would rather just play Super Mario Maker more than buy new games. Because this is like, one of the best games ever made, for sure. When I play it, I always have like the time of my life, right? I'm so happy playing those games, but I never want to because like I don't have time, or I don't want to invest in the time to sit for hours and just design the perfect Mario Maker level. And that's something I need to make time for, and I'm not willing to sacrifice everything else in my life to do that. It's one of those things. I need to stop playing other games less in order to play that game more. But I have this like massive backlog of games I need to get through before I can reach that point, and it's great. Oof. I love Super Mario Maker. 10 out of 10. I wish. Let's see. Yeah, Nintendo did get Game of the Year for Breath of the Wild, but that was one of those situations. If they did not get Game of the Year for that year, it would be blatantly obvious that the industry is biased against Nintendo, and they desperately don't want to admit that to the public, right? They don't want to admit that there's a bias when they like decide these things. So they sort of give like a token awards like certain big Nintendo franchises. Like I think Super Mario Galaxy won Game of the Year. This is where the stereotype that Nintendo only has Mario and Zelda comes from, because like those are the only games that anyone ever considers to win Game of the Year, even if there's stuff that's like better than them, right? Like stuff like The Wonderful 101, Codename Steam. I don't want to say it's better than Mario and Zelda, but like stuff obscure stuff like that, right? Octopath Traveler probably deserved awards. Like there's so much out there that simply does not get talked about, and it's just embarrassing. Let's see. Wait, what about Harry Potter fans? What? I don't know what we were talking about. I was looking at Harry Potter games today, actually. For some reason, like the original Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, for like the GameCube, is like $40 at my local game store, and for like Chamber of Secrets is like less than half that. So I was just looking at it like, why? Like, what's the logic behind it? What's the reasoning? I have no idea why. I was just I wanted to buy it, but like not at that price. Like I could get like a good game at that price. Like I think that game was more expensive than that copy of Mario Kart Double Dash I saw the other day. It's just. By the way, speaking of my local game store, retro games are like flying off the shelves. Like I went in there, yesterday, the day I saw the Joker. I think it was yesterday. Time just goes all over the place for me. So the day I went and saw the Joker, I went in there yesterday. The day before, I had gone in there and looked, but like I went back to pick up some games. I decided to buy something. I wanted to pick up a copy of Mischief Makers and Trace Memory. There were other things I wanted to buy too, like Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, like a couple more obscure N64 games, but those were what I decided to get, right? Mischief Makers and Trace Memory. In the day that I wasn't there, both of those games sold. Like someone bought both of those games, and that really, really surprised me, because like I didn't think Mischief Makers was really all that popular. I didn't think people were looking for it, but this hasn't happened to me in years. But like someone essentially cucked me out of the games I wanted, and I'm just sitting here just being like, wow, I guess I'll have to stick with Amazon. I managed to find the game for a reasonable price on Amazon with no trouble. But yeah, there are people still buying retro games, and like we had this conversation on my Discord about this. It feels like serious gamers are just playing old games, sticking with old consoles. Meanwhile, the plebs are sticking with like the modern shit and just eating up like what the industry tells you should like, and like shelling out $60 for like The Witcher 3. It just blah. Let's see. So yeah, I really wanted to play Trace Memory now. I'm trying to find a copy. The thing about I'll never understand this. Why do used DS games never seem to come with the cases? Like I don't understand that. Like, do they just leave the cases at home and just bring in the games in to sell them? Like, what's the reasoning behind it? They're worth more with the case. I want the case. Just give me the case. I actually don't like ordering games off of Amazon, at least DS and Wii games, because like they always come in like these shitty like CD cases or these terrible. I bought a copy of Deadly Creatures. Let me show you. Where is it? Is it up here? I have no idea where it is. I stopped playing it a while ago, but I bought a copy of Deadly Creatures, and it's just this like it's in this like terrible CD case, and it looks awful. And I wanted the box, and it's a major reason why I don't think I'm going to use Amazon for most game purchases, because like I want the original packaging. Like the only time I don't is if it's an N64 game, and it doesn't really need it. But for like a game, for a smaller cartridge, for stuff like a DS game, for a disc, yeah, I definitely want the package. Like it just, oof. Yeah, Trace Memory is on my list now that I've seen it. Let's see. I imagine I can see Bloodborne having fans. Yeah, I was actually getting consistently bad grades in math. Like that's the thing. Like I'm just not very good at math, but that's just I don't remember how badly I did. I guess I didn't pass, but like oof. The B boss. That's the one just before Web Woods, I think. Yeah. The B boss is like hard as that one's pretty difficult. Yeah, it gets harder from here on out. Just believe me, it just keeps ramping up. Donkey Kong Country 2 has like is the greatest platforming game ever made, because like it makes you fight to beat it, and I love it for that reason. I cannot wait for it to be released on Switch. I am really anxious to play that game again. I have not played it at all since like I 100% it. Beat the secret final boss a couple of years back. I think it was in 2017. Love that game. Super Switch does not exist. I don't know what is with Super Metal Dave. Still in 2019 making Switch rumors. That's just embarrassing. And people are like actually citing him as a source. Like, do you know who this guy is? He's more irrelevant than I am. It's just in the YouTube scene, and yet you're actually seeing people like report on his rumors. It's just embarrassing. Like at least Emily Rogers had like sort of has this like a cult following on like Reset Era. Like this guy has nothing, and you still see people talk about him. It's ridiculous. Yeah. N64 games and GameCube games need to start being re-released. GameCube games in particular, because they have not been re-released at all in 10, 15 years. Like they're well overdue. Like now that the fans are grown up, like it's high time they start remaking a proper GameCube classics line. Like we need a re-release of Double Dash. We need a re-release of like Kirby Air Ride. We need a re-release of Melee, probably. Well, let's wait until like the Smash Ultimate DLC is done before we work on that one. But like these classic games in general. Luigi's Mansion, like that could be released again. Let's see here. What else do they have? Like I don't know. I wouldn't mind like a Nintendo exclusive like enhanced RE4 for for a Switch instead of this like bullshit $30 one that we're supposed to like be lining up for. It's on sale for $20 right now, and I was just like, I think it's 20. I think it's right now. It was last time I checked. It's on sale for $20 right now, and I was just like, why was it not $20 to begin with? I'm so frustrated by that. It's Capcom Switch support is like the worst ever. I don't understand this. They're just like shafting Nintendo for no reason with like, putting Devil May Cry 2 on there separately for $20 in and of itself is like the most offensive thing I think I've ever seen in my life. They are legitimately trying to sell you Devil May Cry 2 on the Nintendo Switch for $20. For those of you who aren't aware, Devil May Cry 2 is like legitimately the worst game ever made. Like bar none. Like Superman 60. No, Devil May Cry 2 is worse. I am not exaggerating. I genuinely think Devil May Cry 2 might be worse than Superman 64. That might be because like I haven't played Superman 64 in years, but like no, Devil May Cry 2 is like the absolute worst. I cannot think of a single game I finished that I hate more than Devil May Cry 2. It is so bad. It is so bad. Yeah, Mischief Makers is definitely one I've been Mischief Makers is one I've been looking at. Yep. Well, I was surprised that people bought it, that someone bought it in like a day. That was what put me off about it. Like I went in there, looked at it, considered buying it because it was pretty inexpensive. Like it was like $24. I decided against it, and then like I rethought my decision, went back the next day, and then it was gone. That's what kind of surprised me about that. Like I knew it was a cult classic. I know plenty of people like it, but I'm not used to like games disappearing like that overnight. Like I was not expecting that. Oof. I have not played that. No, I have not played it. I actually know very little about it, other than like the fact that Treasure made it. And I love Treasure. Like I love Sin and Punishment, so I'm really excited about playing it. I've heard nothing but good things. I'm actually playing Conker's Bad Fur Day again right now on a rare replay on the Xbox One, and I was streaming that, and that's a good one too. And I swear I like that game more as I get older. Like the more I replay it, I just have a blast with it. Like more and more and more. It's a really it's weird to think that when I first played Conker, I thought it was kind of overrated, but now I really really enjoy it. Yeah, Superman 64 is the worst. I actually did own that game, and I did get rid of it. I kind of regret that now, though. I wouldn't do that now. I've realized as I get older that I hate getting rid of games because, like, if I want to talk about something, like, I'm gonna have to replay it, right? Like, I play so many games that, like, I like talking about bad games enough that I would want to have them around if I owned them in the past, so like I could like go back to them and like talk about certain things. Like I can't talk about like weird things I noticed about like Superman 64 now because I haven't played it in like years, right? I played it as a kid. Like I legitimately played this game in an attempt to learn more about Superman. That was my big brain plan to like learn more about Superman, is like play this game and like learn more about this like legendary superhero. Keep in mind, I was so out of touch. Like I did not even know that Superman was an alien growing up, right? Because I did not grow up reading comics at all. So I bought this game knowing nothing about it, and and just I think it might have been the first game I ever played that like I realized was straight up bad, right? Like I think Mike Matei has talked about this. When you're very very young, you don't necessarily understand that games can be bad. So like you always assume that you're doing something wrong, like you're the problem, right? So for the longest time, I was trying to get through the first level, trying to like fly through those rings, and I did eventually someday clear it. Like I remember struggling a lot. Like I remember struggling with like the flight controls. Like I did not understand how to go forward. Right, like you press the B button and you like move the control stick. It's it was really unintuitive, but I did get a hang of it. I did get through the rings eventually. I did get near the end. I did get through those like ridiculous segments. I did learn it eventually. I don't think I ever got past level 2 ever. Like the furthest I got was when like the girl jumps you and like beats the crap out of you, like beats the crap out of Superman with her bare hands, and like I couldn't beat her. It's just oof. That game is just so bad. Oof. Oof. I need water. So yeah, I will be picking up Mischief Makers as soon as I am able. Like probably in the next week or so. Probably not this week, but next week. After I pick up all the stuff that's coming out the next week, I will get it eventually. I'm really looking forward to that one. The only reason I didn't buy it, like I should have bought it, the first time was because like I'm playing Pokemon Stadium 2 right now, and I was just like, do I really want to play a new game? Because like Pokemon Stadium 2 is like so ridiculously cheap. It is so crazy hard. It is so like with rental Pokemon. Keep in mind, I'm doing it with rental Pokemon because I don't own a physical copy of a Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, or Silver, so I can't bring in my own team. So like the game becomes like unbearably difficult, and like I've just been like beating my head against the wall trying to beat this like Master Ball tournament for like hours, and I was just like, do I really want new games? Because this is going to take me forever to clear it. I got other games to play. I'm replaying Donkey Kong 64. I need to go back and replay a lot of these rare games. I want to finish Banjo-Tooie and Jet Force Gemini. I just bleh. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, Pokemon Stadium 2 is like the cheapest game I think I've ever played in my life. It's not enough for the AI to have like to be able to have like better Pokemon than you. They have to like read your inputs, like know what move you're gonna use, what Pokemon you're gonna switch out for. Like, what do they do? Oh yeah, hyper. They all of their attacks like hit you like no matter how inaccurate they are, while like you're constantly missing hyper beams. It's so bizarre. Hyper beam has like a 90% accuracy rate, right? Like, but that should be hitting like most of the time. Meanwhile, I'm like missing like constantly these critical attacks, like attacks that I absolutely have to nail. I should nail, but like somehow I keep missing. And meanwhile, like the enemy is like pounding me with like thunders and stuff like that. It's just really like they consistently can revolve a strategy around thunder and somehow hit me every single time. It's so baffling. It's so ridiculous. I've been trying to like build a team to, you know what? I probably should play it now, just so I can just so I'm not sitting here in front of a camera, not doing anything. I might as well play Pokemon Stadium. Oof. I love this game, by the way, so don't let me. Yeah, I don't have the capability to stream N64 games, so I can't really stream it. But you can see my angry reaction to it. Yeah, so I'm on round 1, Poke Cup Master Ball, I think. Yep, Poke Cup Master Ball. So this is like the highest tournament. So I'm not a pleb. I know what I'm doing. All right, let's try to do it. My team is Fearow, Kadabra, Ghastly, Starmie, Rhyhorn, and Heracross. Rhyhorn is like the one that I think is kind of out of place, but we'll see. Oops. Like, this is the best team I've been able to build. I can't find anyone. Every other team I've tried can't even get past like the first 3 guys. Like for this, at least with this one, I can get to the 5th one pretty consistently. Fairly consistently, I should say. Let me see here. Yeah, I am so angry right now. I was so angry like last night. I just had to like stop playing because it is so frustrating just like struggling with these fights that you should not be struggling against. Like if I had a good move pool, if I had good Pokemon, like this wouldn't be a problem. And that's kind of why these games are so fun because they kind of challenge you in ways that like the standard games would not. Yeah, a critical hit. It's super effective with Zap Cannon. Zap Cannon just I can't even use Zap Cannon at all because I miss all the time. Like if you don't have like 100% accuracy, you're probably going to miss. And it's just, oof, I hate it. He always sends out this Persian. It always manages to hit the Zap Cannon. It got a critical hit this time. Just, all right. Oof. Yeah, and I flinched. That's how bad it is. Like you flinch all the time. You miss attacks you should hit. Like, oh man. So yeah, Pokemon Stadium 2. Some thoughts on this, or Gen 2 in general. I was actually playing Pokemon Silver on my 3DS the other night too. I just realized this. Playing Gen 2, I don't actually like a whole lot of Gen 2 Pokemon. I never really thought about it before, but like I generally always stick with the original 150 when playing these games. I usually use my starter and not a whole lot else. Like I like the starters actually. I like all 3 of them. Right, Cyndaquil is my favorite, but I'm using Totodile this time because I don't think I've ever actually used Totodile in a playthrough. So I'm using Totodile now, and I'm loving the game. But like, I am really surprised. I really don't like a lot of these Gen 2 Pokemon. Like, I think they're all not as interesting to look at. I think they're not as fun to use. It's weird, but like, I guess I have a kind of a Gen 1er opinion. I think Gen 3 actually has way more interesting Pokemon, which kind of surprises me because I always preferred Gen 2 growing up because like it had better, it was a better game in general. It had more content, like, but the actual Pokemon themselves, I don't like all that much. And there are some exceptions. I love Ho-Oh. I love Lugia. I love the starters. But like everything else, I just got destroyed. I got destroyed. I'll never be a Pokemon master. I'm never going to be a Pokemon master. I'm like the Ash Ketchum of like Pokemon Stadium games. I'm gonna keep entering this tournament until I win. So I'll be doing this for like 20 years or something like that. 20 seasons. And I don't even have a cute girl following me around. Like, do I? Do I really not? Oh no. Yeah, I was just thinking. I was just thinking before I went live. Misty is like genuinely this like anime icon in like the West, but in like America or Japan, she's like not really that popular. People like her, but like they actually like the other girls too. Like Americans seem to have this like idea that Misty is like Ash's one true love interest. I actually do subscribe to this, by the way, but Americans like this idea that like Misty and Ash sort of have this like really deep relationship, even though she's not been in the show for years. And I mean, my throat's starting to hurt. Blah. Yep, yep. It keeps hitting me. Oof. I think maybe I should switch out Heracross with like another fighting type. Maybe Hitmonlee. Because like the thing about Heracross, its only fighting type move, its only good one is reversal. And that gets stronger when its HP goes down. And I've been using that effectively somewhat, but it's kind of like a risky tactic. So yeah, I think I will switch it out. Yeah, I'm thinking about this all the time. Yeah, this Persian should be dead. Like, it should just straight up ridiculous, really. All right. Were we talking about anything specific before I started playing this game, this really frustrating game that I can't win? And I talked about Blizzard. I talked about Sony a little bit. I talked about Nintendo. Oof. Ooh. Yeah, I guess we could look at other topics. Let's see. What's going on in the wonderful world of video games? Miiverse needs to come back. Daemon X Machina. I've stopped playing that now. Actually, I'm taking a break from it. I think I hear it's getting updates, like it's adding PvP or something like that. I don't really know. I don't think I'm interested in the idea of PvP for that one, honestly. I'm pretty satisfied with it as it stands right now. Let's see. Golden Sun, Wario Land 4. We need a Wario Land 4. Link's Awakening is great. Love that one. Oof. Oof. Oh yes, I have seen Joker. Holy shit. I saw it last night. It is so good. It's so good. I was baffled. I was so shocked at how much I loved it. Like, it is probably my favorite, probably the best movie I've seen all year. What else have I seen this year? I was shocked. I did not think they made movies that good anymore. I was like amazed. It blew me away. I don't even like superhero movies. I guess it's in a superhero movie, but like, ooh, it was so good for the most part. Like, I have some minor issues. Like, personally, I think they should have kept Bruce, the Waynes, out of it entirely. But yeah, other than that, wouldn't it have been better if like they just cut out that whole Wayne thing entirely and just sort of show the whole alley scene at the end? That might have made it more of an impact, other than like this weird forced drama between like oof. But for the most part, I really, really enjoyed it. Like, its depiction of mental illness, like poverty, all that really struck home with me. It's really well done. For the most part. Like, again, it's really subtle too with some things. Like I don't know. Should we talk about spoilers? I'm not sure. Because it's not really a movie I think should be spoiled, right? For certain things. I don't know. It'd be kind of hard to spoil it because again, it's such a good movie anyway. Oof. Like, ooh, he becomes the Joker at the end. Yeah, I think we have this established. You know that going in, but it's mostly about how he gets there. I don't know. Like, I think it could have been a little bit better, sort of. I don't know. Like, things can always be a little bit better, but I really enjoyed it. I don't know what critics are saying about it, but like, I think it's getting. I hear there was this weird backlash towards it. I don't know. Can we look at maybe we could look at the critic reviews real quick. Let's see. Yeah, Hitmonlee. Okay. Dark type Pokemon. Sneasel. I guess I could use a Sneasel. It has Ice Punch. Yeah, Sneasel. Let's try Sneasel. All right. Yeah. So I really like Joker. It was really good. What about my Wii library? I have plenty of games. Let's see. What's sitting right in front of me? Let's see. Last Story, Punch Out, Resident Evil 1, Harvest Moon, Animal Parade, Super Mario Galaxy 2. I see Super Paper Mario over there. Let me see here. And Skyward Sword. Those are the ones that are out in front of me right now. Most of my others are over here. I guess I could just show off a couple. Just talk about them randomly. I've not played a lot of them in a while. Oh yeah, I have a grandma story. I wore my One Punch Man shirt to her house the other day, and she told me it was adorable. And I was just like, oh, thank you. Thank you, Grandma. One Punch Man is officially Grandma approved. Yeah, so yeah, Endless Ocean. I have this. I haven't played this one at all. I own both of them, and like I haven't finished either. I liked both. Other M, I need to get back to. I wanted to replay that one. No More Heroes. Definitely need to get back to this one. My all-time favorite game. Love that game. Oh, how am I getting? All right. Let's see. Yeah, No More Heroes 2. Great one. Wait, this is not a Wii game. Well, I guess it technically is, but I guess it got mixed in. Twilight Princess. Need to replay that one. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Oof. I picked this up because of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I haven't played it again. I think I'll give it one last shot before I'm giving up on it, but I don't think I was too impressed. And then, of course, the legendary Sin and Punishment Star Successor, one of the best rail shooters of all time. Love, love, love that game. Oh yeah, there's Kirby's Epic Yarn too. That one's good. That one's a classic. Oh, I had some more games too. Sorry, some more were hiding back there. All right. I thought I had a couple more. Yeah. How are none of my attacks connected? I don't understand this. I haven't been paying attention because I was showing off my collection, but man. Okay. Okay, Little King story. I need to replay this game again to talk about it in depth, but like this is one of the best games ever made. Like if you're a fan of Pikmin, you need to play this. This is phenomenal. One of my all-time favorites. Love it. Rune Factory Frontier, a game I still have not taken out of the packaging because I'm still playing Rune Factory 4. I bought this so I would have it, so it wouldn't like get expensive on me. And as a result, I still have not played it because I haven't finished 4 yet. I'm definitely gonna get on that because I love Rune Factory, but man, I gotta finish 4. 4 is one of my favorite 3DS games. Elements. Really love this game. It's from Konami, back before they were completely terrible, and probably one of the better launch games on Wii. I can't remember the last time I played it, but I really enjoyed it when I did. Fire of the Radiant Dawn, one of my not as good as Path of Radiance for sure, but it's one that I really, really enjoy. It's a good follow-up to Path of Radiance. and it has Micaiah in it, who is very, very annoying. Ike isn't even on the cover. Is he on the back? No, it's just Soth. It's just Soth and Micaiah. Just the worst protagonists in Fire Emblem history. Okay, protagonist. We all know Ike's the real hero of this story. Yeah. I don't like Micaiah, by the way. I think I've said this in the past, but Micaiah is like super, super annoying. It's just. Yeah, Pikmin 2. Yeah, I need to replay this one too, because like I've like gone public with like my dislike for this game, so I need to play it again to really justify why. Because it's been so long. Like I haven't played this since played through it since like 2013 or so. So I'm like so out of the loop in regards to it that I can't even really explain why I don't like it anymore. It's just. Oof. It's yeah, I love Pikmin 2. Like I love all the other games, but 2 really misses the mark, right? Like 2 feels like wow, they really botched it. Like it feels like they did not do what the original did. Like I cannot stand the dungeon crawling aspect. It's so bad. I hate it. Resident Evil 4. I bought this game brand new for $13, like years ago. I got this game for $12, like, let's see, 9 years ago, okay? And it was less expensive than it is right now on sale on the Switch. Is there something wrong with that? Is there like anything wrong with my opinion? Like, is there something wrong with what I'm saying here? Like, really? Just, Resident Evil 4 is just, I love this game. I do, but like, Switch, don't make it so expensive. Just, oh yeah, we also have one of my favorite games of all time, Wario Land. We need a new Wario Land game. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I love them. I love all of them, but this is like the highlight. This is like the best one by far. It has like so much replay value, so much going on. I'm still playing it. Like even 5 years later, I haven't quite completed everything. This is like the greatest completionist game I've ever played in my life. There's so much stuff going on. I love it. Yeah, I saw that video. Arlo complaining about Nintendo Switch Online. It's embarrassing. Like it really is. Arlo's complaints about this kind of stuff it's becoming like. I flinched. Are you serious? Arlo's like complaints about this are just becoming increasingly petty and ridiculous. Like it's most notorious, I think, among like Kirby fans because of how like Arlo just despises Kirby, but like it extends to other things as well. Like his weird freak out over like Mario and Luigi and like Hey Pikmin and stuff like that. Like and now this Nintendo Switch Online stuff. Like he's definitely going to be this guy who becomes notorious for being this like complainer more than anything else. Like that's what he's known for complaining about this stuff. It just there we go. So did I seriously miss all those high jump kicks on the last round? I just sorry. Oof. Let's see. Yeah, I am not a fan of Arlo's. He's really been getting on my nerves. Like, I don't know. I don't like Scott the Woz either. I don't like a lot of these e-celebs. They're just I don't know. They have these petty complaints about everything. And it's just they don't seem like they're enjoying themselves half the time. It all comes off as really fake. Uh, oh yeah. I should show off this video because I really wanted to talk about this one. I came across this incredibly Pretendo Breath of the Wild review that was updated recently, and I just had to show this off on stream because it is so ridiculous. I was going to make a video about it, but I don't know. It doesn't really deserve that. Let me see. All right. What the hell is it? I didn't block this. Oof. Okay. I just came across this. An honest Breath of the Wild review dissecting Nintendo's Titanic. I really want you to keep this in mind as we go into this. Dissecting Nintendo's Titanic. Dissecting Breath of the Wild. Nintendo's Titanic. I really want you to think about that title alone and really think about that as we go into this like ridiculous bullshit on the. I think I'm gonna stay silent for a bit so I can actually play my game, but I really wanted to show this off. This is just ridiculous. Please let me know if you can hear it, if we have the sound correct. All right.
This video is a long time coming just because my feelings towards this game are so mixed and so kind of complicated. It's been hard to really get the points together to do an actual review of it. So before we get into it, maybe I'll just do a bit of background. So I've been a Zelda fan ever since, I think the first Zelda game I ever played was Ocarina of Time, although it might have been Link's Awakening. I don't really remember, to be honest. I had Link's Awakening for Game Boy Color and Ocarina of Time for the N64. And I remember I got Majora's Mask the day it came out. And I was hooked. I loved Ocarina of Time. I probably beat that game like 7 or 8 times. I beat Link's Awakening a couple times. I beat Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons probably like 3 or 4 times each.
Those games are classics.
I was a huge Zelda fan. Twilight Princess is my favorite game, and I loved them up to Skyward Sword.
Whoa! You lost me there. You were talking about all these classic Zelda games, and then you were like, Twilight Princess is my favorite. Really? Out of all these games, that one's your favorite? I guess everybody has their favorite, but this just seems kind of weird considering what's coming.
Which I detested. Skyward Sword was like the most disappointing thing in my life.
Ooh, bad opinions.
Okay, maybe not, but it was the most disappointing game release ever, but that's neither here nor there. So when I heard Breath of the Wild was coming out, at that point in time, I had no intention of getting a Switch. I wasn't really interested in it. And I saw like the footage and it just didn't really impress me. I didn't like Link's outfit. I didn't like the art design. The idea of an open world, I was just like, I have very mixed feelings about open world because I think I've said this in the past, I'm really not a fan of the Elder Scrolls games. Just because I feel you get this massive world that's largely empty and like 80% of the game is just you running around in the middle of nowhere. And when I saw
Elder Scrolls really isn't very good. I don't know why Skyrim fans are always so adamant that like Skyrim is like some spectacular thing. It isn't. If you actually play good open world games like Zelda, I should
like this particularly when I saw how big the map was. I'm like, holy shit! This whole game is just going to be you running around. And then I'm like, and they brought back like these horrible. They brought back the stamina meter. You have to climb everywhere. All the weapons break. Like what is this nonsense? And it didn't look very good to me. And I had no interest in playing it. And out of curiosity, I did something kind of dumb. I played it on a Wii U emulator on my PC.
Yeah.
And
Really
obviously
dumb.
that was a bad experience, but I didn't like the basic gameplay very much in that case.
So he played a broken emulator, and it it made his impressions based on that. I really want you to think about that going forward. He played the game on Yuzu or whatever it's called, and that is where he's getting his opinion. Unbelievable.
So I just said I'm not going to get the game. So I wound up getting a Switch, and I'm like, everybody deserves a second chance. Let's try this game again. So I got myself a copy of Breath of the Wild. I popped it in, and it's
The best
it's
game
an
ever made.
extremely flawed masterpiece, I guess you could say. Or I don't know if masterpiece might be going a bit far.
Flawed is just like, okay, like everything is flawed. Okay, I really want you to think about this. Like, I don't want to say that like Breath of the Wild is a perfect game, but like to suggest it's anything less than like a masterpiece just reeks of ignorance. And I do not use that word lightly. Like ignorance. Like you do not know. I really want you to keep that in mind as we he explains his logic a bit further on.
If Skyward Sword was 2 steps back, this I think is like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. This is substantially better than Skyward Sword, but it's extremely overrated. It might be the most overrated game of all time.
Nope. Like you can't say that in like a world where Red Dead Redemption 2 exists. You cannot convince me of that. That's just ridiculous. Oof.
I didn't enjoy the game. I put a whole bunch of time in. I maxed out the Fierce Deity armor. I got the Master Sword. I got all kinds of other stuff. I beat all the bosses. I beat the game.
Oh, no.
So I did enjoy it, but the fact that I enjoy it doesn't take away from the fact that I think it's very poorly designed. I think the design decisions they made when they were doing this are in often cases kind of baffling, and it was kind of fun in spite of the design decisions they made. So let's just talk a bit, before we get into the story or anything, let's just talk quality of life. I hate the stamina gauge. I've always hated the stamina gauge. In a game where 90% of the game is you having to climb things, having a stamina gauge where you have the option of either climbing really slow or climbing faster but running out of stamina is just not fun. It's just climbing in this game isn't fun. Once you get the climbing gear and you upgrade your stamina gauge a bit more, it's more playable. But at the beginning, you can't climb anywhere. You have to climb to get anywhere in this game.
Well, you're supposed to go around things. You're supposed to explore. You're supposed to unlock those abilities. Like, I don't understand. This goes into what I think about the video as a whole, but like essentially he's nitpicking. Like that's what it all comes down to. That's what it always comes down to, is that like they blow up these things. Oh, okay, they always preface the videos. Pretendos always do this. They always preface their videos talking about like what huge fans of Zelda and Nintendo they are. And then they just sort of go out of their way to like nitpick this bullshit that does not matter and like try to talk all this trash about like modern Zelda. You know, like back in the day, it was Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. Now it's like Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. Like modern Zelda isn't what as good as it used to be. It's just, and if they ever make specific complaints, it's like useless stuff like this, like bitching about the stamina gauge, bitching about like weapon durability, like bitching about all of that. It's just unbelievable.
It's just this massive part of the game, and it's just such a bad mechanic. There's no hook shot. If there was one game there should have been a hook shot, and it's this. And for most of the game, there's no way around it. Like you have to climb up like these massive cliffs. It's like the environment's very vertically oriented. And I'd say probably about 30% of the time I spent playing this game was just climbing.
What?
And that's not fun. Like I wish there was something more. I admit I did the one that gives you the thing that launches you up in the air last. So I didn't realize it was a thing. But that's no excuse. Like there should have been something like a hook shot or something that lets you like jump really high without the magic stuff, like just something. Getting around this map was a nightmare. So like first off, that was a bad idea. And then it rains every 5 seconds and you can't climb while it's raining. And because
it really does feel like he never learned how to play the game, like dealing with the environment, dealing with like, you know, what you can do with the map, like learning how to play it. Like it just nitpicks. All of them are nitpicks.
you have to climb to get anywhere. It's literally like the game just takes the controller away from you and tells you to go fuck yourself, and you just have to sit there and wait for it to let you play it again. And while we're on the subject of rain, who thought it was a good idea to have lightning kill you if you have anything metal equipped? And sometimes I think
I actually love this mechanic. So seeing him like bitch about it makes me angry. Like there are so many neat puzzles and things you can do with like the lightning, like throwing items at enemies. That's just amazing. To have lightning strike them, that is like the coolest thing I think I've ever seen. It's so good.
it was like stuff that wasn't even metal, and lightning would just randomly come and kill you. That's fun. When it's raining, let's disable your ability to fight or to climb. That's good gameplay. Let's make an area of the game where it literally rains every 5 minutes. That's genius. And that's like the kind of design thought they put in. And who thought destructible weapons were a good idea? How I got through the game was I wisely chose to invest. I got off of Etsy a like $10 thing that came with a set of RID cards or RIP cards or whatever they're called. The infrared cards that mimic Mii's. And I used those when I was playing the game. So I would always have a whole bunch of decent weapons like Hyrulean Knight.
Okay, so let me recap this for those of you who didn't catch that. This motherfucker seriously went out. He completely seriously went out, bought amiibos to use for the game, so he would always have weapons on hand. He never learned how to acquire weapons. He never. Why did I miss? Okay, So he never learned how to properly acquire weapons. He never learned how to properly play the game. It's just, again, this goes to what I was saying. He's doing it wrong.
Clothing, guards, weapons. And a lot of the armor wasn't very good, but it was nice to always have those kind of weapons on hand. And I can't imagine playing the game without it, because they would just break constantly. And it's like when they say destructible weapons, they mean destructible weapons. Like a lot of them won't last more than fighting 1 or 2 enemies. You're constantly having to save your decent weapons for when you're fighting like stronger enemies. And it's a horrible thing that just shouldn't exist. If you're going to have durability, at least have like the weapons you can upgrade and you can repair and that kind of thing. Or better yet, make it like every other Zelda game and don't have fucking degradable weapons. It's a terrible idea. It's like the Master Sword. You have to recharge like you're in fucking No More Heroes. Who thought that was a good idea? Like, it boggles the mind. And while we're on that, like this kind of the subject of basic gameplay, this game has the most schizophrenic difficulty of like any video game I've ever played. Some enemies will die in like 1 hit. If you're fighting like the centaur dudes or like mainly the centaur dudes, they will just kick the living shit out of you. It takes so long to just wail on them with like even high tier weapons to kill them. And there's like a lot of enemies like this. Like in the early game.
So basically, again, he never learns how to approach enemies. He doesn't learn that you can avoid them. He doesn't learn how you can tell whether something is weaker or whether he can take it or not. No, he's just going to complain about stronger enemies being placed throughout the entire map. Like, it's
because there's no clear like progression. You'll just be running into high-level areas and people will just kill you over and over and over again. And because armor reduces damage you take so much, the baseline damage of enemies is really, really high. So at the beginning of the game where it should be easiest, the game, at least for me, was often brutally difficult because enemies would kill you really fast, faster than any other Zelda game. But later in the game, once I got like armor and I upgraded it, it just became super easy. I was just like, people couldn't really hurt you anymore. And I don't think that's really the design of like good gameplay. Like in this game, it's like, it sucks, and then
I was playing Dragon Quest 1 on stream earlier today, and I was stomping pretty much everything I was coming across because I was in a weak area of the game trying to figure out where I was supposed to go next, and I was still having an absolute blast. Like, this isn't really an argument. Like, it's just him complaining for the sake of complaining. It doesn't, like, he's complaining about a game having a progression system and like the ability to become more powerful and get better armor. Essentially, it's just,
you get armor and like okay weapons, and you can actually climb in a game that's based on climbing, and then it gets kind of good. But it's like, why should I have to wait like 20 hours to get this stuff? Why can't they just have it like every other Zelda game? So that is kind of the gameplay portion of the review. So the gameplay for this...
So yeah, that's all that matters. Is he going to... I don't think I've seen the rest of the videos. I haven't screened it, so I'm not really sure what he talks about. I think he goes into the story, which I am... Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, we need to talk about this.
Is very problematic. You have this massive map that has like...
Problematic. Oh, man. Problematic. Oh, no. The map design is problematic.
Very little in it.
Shit, yeah, I need to replay that. That's one of the things I wanted to bitch about.
The gameplay portion of the review. So the gameplay for this is very problematic. You have this massive map that has like very little in it.
Very little in it. Breath of the Wild has very little in it. Are you serious? Are you like completely... Are you shitting me? Did you even play the game? Like, I played this for like, about 100 hours, and I did not find everything in this game. Like, there is so much in this game, I can't even really keep track of it all. It is just packed with content. Whenever someone like seriously tries to suggest that there's nothing in this game, I just laugh at them because they should not be taken seriously, and I don't. Oof. Let's see. That's the wrong video.
You don't have dungeons. The dungeons in this game are horrible. You can beat them in like 15 minutes if you have a guide. They don't make any...
You can beat them in 15 minutes if you have a guide, implying or suggesting that he used a guide to get through these dungeons. You can't complain about a dungeon being too short and being too easy if you use a guide. Like, what? Like, what? Are you serious?
He says they rely on like cheesing platforms and doing specifically timed jumps more than anything kind of creative or interesting. But like, this stuff is all bad, and this stuff is all flawed, and it's all like bad decisions. But that's not really what makes this game like fail as hard as it does. What makes this game fail as hard as it does is the story or lack thereof. I don't know if I could describe the story to you if you asked me to. I mean, let's be honest. The Zelda games I find either fall into one of two categories. There's plot-driven games and there's character-driven games. Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess are plot-driven games. There's a central narrative that everything's involved in, and that's kind of the main focus. Midna's quest to regain her kingdom, the quest to drive the Twilight out of Hyrule to restore the land, defeating Ganondorf. You have a central plot that's kind of the driving force. Whereas games like Majora's Mask are character-driven. The central plot isn't really important. The whole stopping the moon thing is just kind of a gimmick. But you have these very complex and deep stories within the sub portions of the game. It's all about the characters. It's all about the world itself. Wind Waker, I also find is like that. Wind Waker, while being very large, and probably the sea is too big in some areas, there's normally at least something to do on every island. There's lots of memorable characters. The world has a lot of character to it. And even if the central plot isn't like super important, there's still a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of charm, and they do a good job on just kind of doing the little details and like the minor things and the side quests. So which one does Breath of the Wild fall into?
Oh no, Breath of the Wild is different.
Well, that's the mystery that Scooby-Doo couldn't solve. The idea that the entire story would be done through flashbacks. I don't know. I guess something like BioShock might have done that well. Or maybe something like Splinter Cell Conviction. But
Splinter Cell and BioShock have better stories. Okay. Breath of the Wild doesn't have a good story. Okay. Breath of the Wild is at its best when it's not really explaining what's going on. Like when you're just exploring and looking at stuff, it's like brilliant. I don't like the cutscenes. I think I've said this before. I don't really like the overarching plot. I don't like Zelda in this game. I think it could have been handled better, but I don't think it's not a game-breaking thing for me. It's just part of the way the game was designed. It's just
because the world is fucking massive. Like you have to find all these stupid picture locations. You don't even get the picture box for like the first like 15 hours of the game. And if you want any part of the story, you have to find these locations. And it's like, it's not easy to find these locations. I don't even know how you'd find them without a guide. I'm sure there's some way to do it. Maybe I'm just stupid. But you have to find these locations, and there's like, 12 of them, and you go there and you watch like a 2-minute video clip. And they have the worst voice acting I've ever seen. Like, Fire Emblem has great voice acting. It's very competent.
Fates does not. Like, I would say Fates has worse voice acting on this. Like Breath of the Wild's voice acting is terrible. I'm not like Nintendo's voice acting is all over the place in general. I don't think it's like a problem with any specific franchise. I don't know. I would not praise Fire Emblem though. Like, especially considering the last one that came out before this was Fates, which was horrible.
Zelda's voice, everyone has these awful British accents. They're atrocious, and the dialogue is just terrible. But it doesn't really matter because it's not like you see any of the characters for very long, anyways. Like I said, there's only like 2 or 3 5-minute clips of them, and that's all you get. That's the characters. Like, what was the thought process that went into this?
To be different, like you know, like being creative. Like, it's not more the same.
Like, there's no development. Okay, Zelda doesn't like her father. Okay, Mipha has a thing for Link. Does she have a personality? No. Do we know anything about her? No, not really. Do we know anything about any of the characters in this game? No. Like, I'd struggle to name more than 2 characters who aren't repeat characters from previous games. I guess there's Mipha, who I only know because a friend of mine has a thing for Zoras, and he constantly talks about her. And Impal, I think her name is. And that's like it. Those are the only characters I can think of, like, who stand out to me enough to remember their names. And in like the other games, you can like, there's so many like memorable characters.
Like, I mean, not in all of them, right? Like, are you really going to say the first 2 had memorable characters? Are you really going to argue that? Like, even A Link to the Past doesn't really have memorable characters. Like, not to the same degree as, like, Ocarina or Majora. Like, I don't know, memorable characters weren't really a thing until Link's Awakening, I would say. I would guess the fundamentals were there in A Link to the Past. Like, Blind the Thief is pretty memorable. But, again, how dare a game be different than other games in the series? That's what this all boils down to when you get right down to it. Let's see.
Even let's take a minor part of Majora's Mask, the Romani Ranch. Like that was fascinating. Like you got the awesome like alien level. You have to help them defend the caravan. I mean, that's all really cool. You actually get a kind of a bit of a story there. The whole Malon Indigo is it Indigo or Indigo Talon thing, that was really cool.
So wait. He just complained about Breath of the Wild not being able to remember the characters in Breath of the Wild or their names, and yet he doesn't remember Ingo's name, really, even though he's specifically praising this plot line. It's just,
well, that was like
I love the Longmont Ranch plot line, by the way. That is phenomenal. I love it.
A nice little drama, like how Malon and her father had kind of been thrown out, and he had to go in as a knight in shining armor and save the day. Like even little stuff like that is very memorable. The King of Incana, if I'm pronouncing it right, was another one. All the sages had like personalities in Ocarina of Time. I guess Ruler wasn't really in it enough to have that much of personality, although he was there in the form of the owl, I guess. But they all had like their own stories. Sheik had her own story.
Whoa!
I can remember that.
Whoa! What was that? Let me repeat that. So like you can catch it if you didn't hear that.
Enough to have that much of personality, although he was there in the form of the owl, I guess. But they all had like their own stories. Sheik had her.
Wait.
Yes. But they all had like their own stories. Sheik had his.
What? His Sheik had his own story. He masculine boy penis. Like no. How could you misspeak? Like holy shit. Does he not know? He had to like stop and think about it. Wow.
Oh, sorry. And like I can remember that. I can even remember like a bunch of stuff from like Twilight Princess, but I can't remember anything from this because there was like no characters and there's no plot. What's the plot is like the most basic bitch stripped down fetch quest I've ever seen in a Zelda game. And all Zelda games are fetch quests. Like, get these items together to go do something. Like, as far as they go, I found the Sages one to be not that bad. The Masked one was not that bad. In Twilight Princess, it at least paid off, because when you get all the fused shadows, Midna becomes like a super Cthulhu demon and like kicks some ass. Like, that was fun. But in this one, it's like, you have to get the 3 divine beasts.
3 divine beasts? Don't you mean 4?
Like, why is this a sci-fi game now? Why is Zelda not fantasy anymore? Like, there's always been steampunky or like Magitech stuff in Zelda. But why'd you have like this Sheikah super advanced technology army? Like, when did this become Power Rangers? And why is there only 4 dungeons?
Okay, Breath of the Wild is like exactly like Power Rangers if you think about it. I've joked about this in the past, but it really is a Sentai plot when you get right down to it, and that's why I love it. I love Sentai.
You don't even have to beat any of the dungeons. There's like nothing in the dungeons. You don't get new weapons. You get like a crappy ability that takes forever to recharge, and Calamity Ganon is a little easier to fight. And like they couldn't even be bothered to come up with unique bosses for each one. Like you had like Volvagia, who's like the ancestral enemy of the Goron people. That was cool. You had like Morpha, who was like this mutant ball that would like form water tentacles around himself. You had Baronade, that was fish cancer. You had like the mechanical bull, I think it's Gorma, I forget what his name is. That was a cool fight. Twilight Princess, you had, I think it was Star-Lord, whatever the giant like skeletal dragon was. they had like cool creative bosses. And all they had in this was like, granted, all Zelda bosses tend to be gimmick bosses, but these were like just the most bare bones, basic bitch like bosses. I think there's only one other boss in the game other than the 4 Divine Beasts boss and Calamity Ganon. I can't even remember his name. I remember it being a shitty gimmick boss fight and someone I like just didn't care about at all. So like that's it. There's like no characters. There's no real plot. You just like, it's like if you took Ocarina of Time and you took out all the sages, all like the backstory, all the lore, all the atmosphere. Because granted, a lot of the time the Zelda games don't really tell you things, but there's a lot of depth there from like atmosphere and stuff like that. And Ocarina of Time did a really good job of that. Like, the Shadow Temple raised so many questions. Like, what the heck went on there? Did they try to seal their evil in there? Was it they used to worship a death god? Like, what was going on there? What was going on with any of the?
Yeah. I think we've heard enough. He's talked about the game. Yeah, what a joke of a video. Like, holy shit. Like, even just listening to it again makes me angry. It's just, really? This is what, like, the Pretendos are resorting to? Really? This is their big complaint? Ooh, Breath of the Wild. It doesn't have characters. Just, really? And this goes back to what I was saying. What I say about, like, N64 libraries and the N64 library and, like, Nintendo consoles as a whole. You can't judge something by what it doesn't have. You know what I mean? Like, that entire video was just like, ooh, it doesn't have good weapons. It doesn't have things other Zelda games have. Like, what about the things it does have? Like, you admitted that you played this game for hours and hours, like, and yet you complain about this stuff. It just, I don't know. It's so frustrating. It really is. Oh, Nick Rekieta is live streaming, talking about Blizzard. That's going to be good. I think I'll post that in the chat actually and shill that on behalf of our bro Nick Rekieta, who is a friend of the Chiller7. Oof. Yeah. So they'll be talking about Blizzard. They'll be more informed about this than I am. Rekieta has actually been great about talking about why digital only and microtransactions in games are bad. So I highly suggest you follow that. Let's see. Yeah, that's not until another hour and a half. So I think I'll just keep streaming until then, until they go live. That's going to be fun. I love Rekieta Law. He's really great. Really professional. Really thorough. He covers lots of different topics. Very, very interesting. Lots of weird internet lawsuit stuff. Really funny guy. Has a lot of input. Has lots of great guests too, like from lots of different avenues. It's really great to see him like bring on like other lawyers, other e-celebrities. It's great. I still have not seen that Killstream episode where like he went on with NBA and just hashed out their problems. I have no idea what happened there. I saw like the Backlash stream. Like I saw him like and Mr. Medicare getting together to make fun of him, but like I didn't see what happened after it, and I'm so salty about it. Because like I think I was asleep when it was happening. Oof. I slept through probably one of the best kill streams of the year. Oh no. The Lou one, the Monkey Jones thing, that was glorious, but this might outdo it because like I'm actually invested in this situation. I don't know, man. These e-celebrities, like, well, not even a celebrity, just some random guy. Like, it seems to attract these narcissists, these like crazy individuals. I guess we could play some NBA clips. Let me see. NBA threatens Rekieta, maybe. I don't know where this is archived. Let's see. I just want to see clips of him. Yeah, I just want to see clips of him raging. Let's see. Let me see where I can find it. Because I want to show this off now. Now that I got talking about this. Let's see. Rekida's live stream. Yeah. Yep. Fighting with the whole. Let's see. I cannot find any. I just want to see the clips. Where are the clips? Darn. Epic fail on my part. That's what I get for not being prepared. All right. Oof. I guess I could just skip through that that Rekida law stream they did.
All right.
Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I'm sorry about this. I really should have. Okay, there we go.
Check it out. I haven't watched this at all.
I'm gonna start the video off by saying, Nick Rekida, sorry I threatened you and your family.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just threatened you and your family. That was just my mistake. Anyone could have done that. I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry I threatened you and your family's lives and everyone that lives around you because I'm such a hard gangster.
I haven't watched this at all.
I'm gonna start the video off by saying, Nick Rekida, sorry I threatened you and your family. I got a lot of friends. I know a lot of drug dealers and a lot of gang members. I fucked up. I got mad and I let this YouTube shit go to my head. I know a lot of dudes who still are Crips. I know a lot of dudes.
Actually, I'm not having audio come through. Is it going through your stream?
Oh, damn it. It's not going through to you guys? That's so annoying. It is going through to the stream.
Yeah.
Here, let me.
I wish I could have found the clips. I'm sorry.
Q, I'm going to send you. Oh, I don't want to do that. That's the exact opposite of what I wanted to do was to send out the link. But I want you to be able to see it. So here's what I do. I won't stop it. I won't stop it. But Q, let me know when you've got it queued up, and we can start all together. But I'll let it play straight through. Does that sound good?
Okay.
All right, you ready?
That's fine. Yep.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, play.
I'm gonna start the video off by saying, Nick Rekida, sorry I threatened you and your family. I got a lot of friends. I know a lot of drug dealers and a lot of gang members. I fucked up. I got mad.
GTA protagonist.
I let this YouTube shit go to my head. I know a lot of dudes who still are Crips. I know a lot of dudes who deal cocaine and steal cars and murder people. I said some fucked up shit. I come to these restaurants to sexually assault people. I'm quitting YouTube. You're not getting the internet MBA no more. Now you're getting David L. fucking Sanford, the guy who went to prison for shooting niggas. So I'm gonna take down everything. Now we're gonna show y'all what true villains really are. Because we've already took down a channel, but I'm done. I'm done with Twitter.
This guy is a real hard G, all right? He can take down your YouTube channel. What?
YouTube, Discord, all of it.
Call the police in, bitch. Call them. Fuck this internet shit. Call the police.
What a ridiculous. How ridiculous is that? Like, holy shit. Wow. Yeah. Any other news to talk about? Like, I could not believe that when I saw that. Like, I was kind of skeptical of this guy when he came on that live stream. And just some of the things he would say, and like, you know, being the president and all that. It's just, I don't know. I didn't know anything about him, but like seeing him like do this is just kind of eye-opening for me because, like, man, he really tried to present himself someone who threatened someone's life and the lives of his family. Like, he tries to present himself as being a victim, and it just, I hate that. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see here. Fighting games. Let's see, man, what else is there to talk about? Let's see here. Blizzard, I've already talked about. I definitely got to figure out a proper way to end these streams instead of just waiting until everybody leaves. Ooh. Let's see here. Razor Fist, Blizzard. Oh, am I caught up on the chat? Let's see. A debate? Who wants to have a debate with me? Wait, who's the fanboy? What's going on with that? I don't understand what you mean. Let's see. Who is JTech TV? Let's see. Yeah, I'm not caught up with the chat. That's a good way to start. Let me get this. Thank you. Let's get caught up on the chat. Let's see here. PS4 is not dying. It's pretty much already dead. PS4 has had no releases all year long, and they've confirmed that the PS5 is coming out next year. So, there are no announcements. There are not going to be any announcements. The PS4 is dead and has been for quite some time, and now they're trying to replace it in order to continue to pretend to be relevant. You can't pretend. You can't keep pretending to sell like 10 million units of games that don't actually sell. Like, they really can't keep that up, I don't think. And PS5 is an attempt to like try and downplay the Switch success and trying to get it out there and trying to eliminate Nintendo from the market, but it's not happening. It really isn't. PS5, I think, it's going to be the same thing as PS4, but less popular. Like, that's going to be the future of PlayStation, I think. Every iteration of it is going to get less and less popular. People are going to like stop getting hyped for this bullshit. And in a lot of ways, that sort of has already happened. Like right now, it's mostly about like third-party games and how they're like clearly declining in quality and how like people aren't happy with like the PS4 lineup in general. But that's going to extend to normie audiences in general. I think once sports games start moving and start developing primarily for mobile and start designing themselves for mobile audiences, that is going to be, once the audience moves over there, that's going to be it. Like, PlayStation can't really sustain itself. Companies will just sort of move on to mobile, move on to these streaming services. PlayStation's time, it's almost up. Like, its multimedia sort of focus that made it popular to begin with isn't really relevant anymore. You can stream movies, You can stream music. There's no reason to have all this stuff in the PlayStation. And the games aren't as good as what you can get on Nintendo. So people who actually play the games will prefer Nintendo. It's kind of weird seeing people like hype up stuff like Medieval and like try to say that like that's a really good remake when the game doesn't look all that good. It's interesting. Yep. Yeah, PS4 is dead. I've said this before. Play me in Smash? Nah. Majora's Mask, love that game. You're as bad as Blizzard? How am I as bad as Blizzard? Like, I don't like go out there and tell people they can't protest against China. Like, oof. Just oof. How is that as bad as Blizzard? I don't know. Like, maybe if I like had a Chinese girlfriend, I took like a roll of duct tape and then just over her mouth. Like maybe I would be as bad as Blizzard, but no. And by the way, I really want an Asian girlfriend. I have not been with an Asian in quite a while. There aren't enough cute ones around here. It's just I hate that. I think I'm gonna have to travel a bit for that, unfortunately. Yeah, all the cuties around here are all blonde. It just blonde American girls, and I hate that type of person. Ugh. Even if they're attractive, I'm just like, I'd rather just have an Asian. I'd rather just be with an Asian. You hate other people that point to things they don't like about the games that. What are you talking about? Well, the thing is, most Nintendo critics, and this is one of the focus points of my channel, is that most Nintendo critics are complete hypocrites who like attack Nintendo games relentlessly for no real reason. It's just kind of ridiculous, and I really want to point this out to like a wider general audience to talk more about like the pretendo nature, like the sort of ridiculous nonsense they always come up with when it comes to like to attacking and hating Nintendo. Just this video of shitting on Breath of the Wild is a good example of that. Just someone who desperately wants to attack Breath of the Wild for just because it exists, apparently. Just, Nintendo games just get a lot of flack like this, and I don't really know what it is. I don't really know what the mindset behind it is. It's people bash my favorite games all the time. Yeah, Nintendo is the best. They can do no wrong. Mobile games beg to differ. I don't even think they should have bothered. It's just say you're not making mobile games. I guess they're making them and don't really care about them. You know, to emphasize that there's not really money in it for them. That just. Wait, okay, Kadabra, Fira. Yeah, the guide thing was just kind of embarrassing. Okay. JTech TV is the PS4 fanboy. The PS4 fanboy. There's an awful lot of them around gaming communities. They like dominate the online gaming scene. Like NeoGAF, Reset Era are both like filled with them. It's embarrassing. Oof. PS5 Nico Made 2 will cost $600. Yeah, it probably will be very, very expensive. Switch Lite, $200. Yep, that's right. There's no point of streaming movies on the PS4. You can just do it through a wide variety of other platforms. I can do that on my phone. There's no real demand to do it on your PS4 anymore. Like everyone could just buy a machine straight from Amazon and just do it that way. There's no, it's not a selling point, is what I'm saying. It just drives up costs. Yep. People with lives own Nintendo, own and play Nintendo. I'm beginning to see that in my personal life more and more. It's become a stereotype with me, I think. I'm wondering whether I should start bringing that up with other people. Oops, is my connection gone? My connection, it said my connection was unstable. Am I good? Am I still online? Yeah, I think I'm good. Oof. It has died on me while I was streaming before. So it's my connection. If my connection gets unstable, it'll like cut me off. So oof. Yeah, okay. Yeah, somehow I'm actually demolishing. I'm actually winning this Pokemon. I've been playing this the same Pokemon Stadium Cup for like the past, I don't know, hour or so. I've been struggling, but like I've actually gotten a little bit into it now. Oof. So hopefully we can beat it. Yeah, if you like Nintendo and PlayStation equally, you need to play more Nintendo games because the difference in quality is just staggering. When you play enough of both, you'll know. Like the very best PlayStation games cannot compete really with like mediocre Nintendo games. Like mediocre Nintendo games are better than the best PlayStation has to offer. I've always said that. Mm-hmm. All the all-time best PlayStation games generally are multi-plats and should have been on Switch, Nintendo consoles anyway. Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, Resident Evil. Resident Evil was on Nintendo to a certain extent, so there's like really no reason to care about. Oof, to care. Like just all you have to do really is just demand that third parties port their games to Nintendo hardware, and then suddenly Nintendo is blatantly the better console. There's no real competition there. Microsoft sucks. Nobody cares about Microsoft. Yeah, I love Shadow of the Colossus. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Yeah. The only PlayStation 2, it's PlayStation exclusive. I think that actually deserves that pedigree. Mm-hmm. I love Shadow of the Colossus. That game is like pure art. Oh, hey, I got to continue. I did so well, I actually got to continue. Like, I couldn't even manage that a lot of times, but I did it. Yes. It's so satisfying. Okay. Yep, I have one continue. Yep. But yeah, Ocarina is better than Shadow of the Colossus. Like, Shadow of the Colossus is great, but like, it's very short. It's very artistic. It's kind of kind of a niche game. As much as I love it, it doesn't have like that universal appeal that Ocarina has. So yeah, Ocarina is better. I don't think anybody would really suggest otherwise, unless you're like completely delusional. Let's see here. Furo, Hitmonlee. Oh yeah, that's a good one. All right, I can lead off with. Who should I lead off with? I don't know why anyone even defends Xbox or even owns one, to be honest with you. Like, what's the purpose? Like, all their games, much like PlayStation, it's pretty much withered up and died. Like, there's nothing really there, nothing appealing, nothing worth owning. It's just, the only reason I don't regret my Xbox One purchase is because, like, of the backwards compatibility and, like, being able to buy most of the games I wanted. I wish Dead or Alive was ported, but, like, I'm happy with, like, both Ninja Gaiden games. Yeah, Dark Souls is really lame. I'm like growing increasingly disenchanted with Dark Souls, or like the weird community around it. It really does feel like Dark Souls fans were so thrilled at having an actual gameplay, an actual video game to play that like they overhyped it to hell and back. It just it would be like if I bought like Castlevania for the DS, like Torch to Ruin, and was like, this game is amazing. It's so good. It's the best ever. It's not that good. You know what I mean? You can like it, but and I do like I do like that game, but oof. Let me see here. Should I switch? Switch can run everything that's on PS4 right now. There is no doubt in my mind. There is no excuse anymore. Like, especially after Witcher 3 got ported, Doom got ported. Like, what even is there that you can seriously say can't run on Switch? Like, RDR2, really? The game that no one really likes anyway? Like, that's your big game, RDR2? It's just what? Can the Switch not handle a major open world game? Is that what you think? Is it not powerful? Are you that delusional? Got it. Awesome. No. I don't think any of those are fun Western games. No. Yeah, I don't think there are any good Western games right now. I cannot think of a single one. There is nothing. Oops. I heard nothing but bad things about Crackdown 3. I don't even know the series. I don't know why people were so hyped for it or so underwhelmed, but like I've heard nothing but bad things. Like I remember that was like the last title that like Microsoft was pretending. They did the Google Stadia thing, right? They sort of did where they said that Crackdown 3, because of cloud connectivity, the game was going to look and run better than it would on the base hardware, which is like, of course, ridiculous and kind of stupid. I can rant about Google Stadia. Like, Google Stadia is like, holy shit, the disaster that is Google Stadia. Holy shit. I made a video about that, like about the whole, our games are going to be so, Google Stadia is going to look and run better than next gen consoles. They're seriously trying to promote that shit. And I don't know. This is not going to, oh. So, was I talking about? Yeah, I did it. Well, I barely got through that. Holy crap! Whew, I did it. I actually got to round 6. Okay, give me your energy, people, and maybe I'll be able to get through this game. I'll finally beat this cup and finally move on with my life. Maybe actually like leave my house with someone. Oof. Oh man. I actually did leave earlier today to go to the gym, but that's about it. That's all I really want to do. Oof. Okay. Mischievous, Crowbot. Yeah, lots of Dark, Ghost, and great. I would love to use Kadabra, but there's too many Dark type Pokemon. I think I'll lead off with Fearow. Fearow is a really good Pokemon to lead off with because it's so strong against most things. No, Ghastly would be a good way to start off. Okay. Ghastly, Hitmonlee, and I guess Kadabra. All right. Let's see if this pans out. Huh? Ooh. I got to beat Pokemon. I got to be a Pokemon master. Ooh. You'll give me negative energy? Okay. All right, buddy. Whatever you say. Ooh, no. Crash Team Racing is complete garbage, even for the microtransactions. I am honestly, this is one of the reasons I say like PlayStation fans are so delusional. They honestly think Crash Team Racing is like some spectacular racing game when like better than Mario Kart, Diddy Kart Racing, F-Zero. Like they think it's better than all of that when it isn't. It's really embarrassing. Like Kid Icarus, is that how you say his name? Cat Icarus. Cat Icarus. I don't know. That guy will like tell you that it's his favorite game of all time, and it's just ridiculous. Like play more games, really. It really is a knockoff of like Diddy Kart Racing. Like they even have like the whole alien invader coming in to like destroy the planet thing. Like I don't know how you can't see that's a ripoff. It just it'd be fine if it was like interesting, but I will give it this. Crash Team Racing is better than the actual mainline Crash games. That's not saying a whole lot, but it is true. Stop switching out Pokemon. I'm doing the same thing. I guess we all have our entire teams were built to counter each other, so we just keep switching them out. Yeah, he switched out Umbreon. So I sent out like Hitmonlee to fight his Umbreon, and then he immediately sent the Umbreon back to bring out a Gengar. Okay. Maybe I should just curse it. I'll confuse Rhea. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot is like embarrassingly bad. The fact that this is like considered a PlayStation classic says a lot about like how low quality most PlayStation games that weren't RPGs actually were. It's just. Oof. All right. Oh, wow. I think I really outplayed the AI in this one. He seriously had me going for a bit, but now I think I overpowered him. I got him cursed. I have him confused. So I actually managed to outplay his type advantage over me. Awesome. I was I still have not played Fable 1. I believe I own it on Xbox One. I think I do. I still have not gotten around to it. I need to. There are a ton of Xbox One games I want to get around to. Yeah, Halo, Fable, a lot of the old ones. I want to do that, and I want to stream it. It's going to be great, but. Man, I really outplayed the AI here. Wow. I have the advantage, overwhelming advantage, in fact. Oh, Destiny Bond. Oh no, really? Well, I still have like 2 Pokemon left, so it's not a big deal actually. I'll take the hit. Yeah, people always bring up how Fable 1 like didn't deliver on its promises. I guess it's like the odds equivalent to like No Man's Sky. I'm not sure how true that is, but I'll have to see. Yep. It is inferior. Yeah, I agree with you actually. Crash isn't difficult. It's just clunky. It's just hard to control. There's nothing like difficult about it. Like I brought this up, but I brought this up on when I reviewed the game. Like the Donkey Kong Country trilogy is better looking, plays better, has more going on, better level design, like pretty much better everything. And yeah, nobody compares the two because everybody knows that Donkey Kong will come out on top. Like, meanwhile, you have like Naughty Dog devs who will like try to tell you that Crash outsold Mario. It's dumb. It really is dumb. Downright delusional. It's a major reason why I don't believe them when they talk about sales numbers because they always try to pull stunts like that. Because like Super Mario 64 is like an all-time classic. It's hard to believe. Like, yeah, Crash isn't shit. Okay. Yeah, neither Crash or Dante deserve to be in Smash. The Bayonetta's in Smash, so we already have the better character, so we don't need Dante. Donkey Kong 64. Yeah, there are people who don't like Donkey Kong 64. I don't know why. I can kind of see why, but I like it a lot. I think it has a lot of personality. Probably Rareware's most personality-filled game. I really wish they managed to survive into the GameCube era. Well, they sort of did with Star Fox Adventure, but you know what I mean. Not being acquired by Microsoft and being ruined. God, shit. Oh, this guy has 3 starters and 3 normal type. Okay. Shit. What should I start off with? Yeah, Kadabra is probably the way to go. Yep, Kadabra, Firo, Hitmonlee. All right, let's go. Oh, Donkey Kong Barrel Blast. I still do not own that one. I've been wanting to pick it up, but I cannot find a copy. I saw one a while back, but I never picked it up, and now I haven't seen another copy. Maybe I can get on that. There are a couple of Wii games I still don't have. It's just Blissey. Yeah, I love Banjo-Kazooie. I think it's better than Mario 64. Yeah, I would say so, yeah. Mario 64 kind of feels like a tech demo in certain ways. He switched it out. Stop switching things out. Okay. Well, I say that immediately after I switch my own guy out. Okay, hopefully I can weaken it enough to. Well, I've gotten really lucky this run. I gotten lots of nice critical hits. The AI is not cheating as badly. I wonder if it was just because, man, I must have just been really unlucky last time because I was like getting destroyed. Well, to be fair, I'm using Hitmonlee a lot, so maybe that adjustment just sort of won it for me. But all right. Yeah, I did not have Hitmonlee in my last lineup. Like, I guess I was just struggling against this one trainer. And I guess having him on the team kind of mitigated that. All right. So. I wish I had Stormy. All right. I did not think to bring Stormy. Well, do I have a continue? I think I do, but. Ugh. Yeah, I'll have to pick up Pokemon Battle Revolution after I finish this, too. Because I've been wanting to play that one for years. Oof. Oh, yeah, Video Game Lover 58 is the absolute worst. Oh, no, it hung on. All right. Well, hopefully I can beat it. All right, all right. Ukulele is not good. I've played it myself. I'm a huge fan of banjo, and I cannot stand banjo, the ukulele. The thing I don't like about ukulele is that people like Jim Sterling love to like portray it as being like, oh, N64 collectathons aren't very good. Yes, they are. Ukulele isn't very good. It's not an N64 collectathon. I don't know. Ukulele's problem was not that it was a collectathon. It just was not a very good one. All right, me. Okay, okay. We each have one Pokemon left. I have a Kadabra, and he has a Blissey. So let's see who's going to win here. This might not end well for me. Damn. Was that Thunder? I think it was Thunder. Damn. It's always these Pokemon that I straight up cannot kill. Like they always have these crazy defenses. All right. It is using Thunder. Okay. Hopefully she just keeps doing that until she runs out of PP. Or no, don't keep doing that. Use like a move that won't hurt me. I need to stay alive so I can win. Okay, yeah, just lower the defense, stay alive, don't die, don't get hit. Paralyzed. Really, paralyzed. Oh, I should have used Kinesis. Shit, what was I thinking? I could have won that. Oh, damn. Damn. I messed it up. Man. I'm a failure. I have let down my family and all of my subscribers. I can't beat Pokemon Stadium 2. I'm just not a good enough Pokemon trainer. Oh, this is the same guy I lost to last time. Okay, one more continue. Okay. I am going to beat this guy. For sure. All right, all right. Who am I going to lead off with? I think that was the way to go. Start off with. Yeah, start off with Hitmonlee. Like, yeah. I think that was the best possible strategy. I have a pretty good setup. It's just all right. Whew. Yeah, I don't know a lot about Fable. I just know some people rage about it. Oof. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, a while back. Yeah, that was what I was thinking of. Angry Joe. That was a long while back, like 10 years ago. That was like Fable 3 was a long time ago. Oof. Mhm. Yeah, Angry Joe used to be a lot more critical than he is now. I swear, if a game does not have microtransactions, he's going to at least give it an 8, even if it's like complete garbage, like Injustice 2 or Destiny 2, or he gave it Destiny 2. Like, what did he give Destiny 2? Something ridiculous, like a 7, something way more than it deserved. No Man's Sky. I don't know. It's really frustrating to see him like consistently go to like downhill like that. Grand Bull isn't a dark type, is it? It looks kind of like a dark type, but I don't think it is. Nope, it's not. Okay. I was just like, wait a minute, that's not a dark type, is it? I was just surprised it would send that thing out. Oh wow, it one hit KO. Okay, so that was why. It one hit KO me. All right. Yeah. Angry Joe is such a casual. He only played on Xbox. Like how can you only play on Xbox? Like, really? Yeah, what good games has he trashed? I can't think of any. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Because he doesn't often review good games to begin with. Because like he's a multi-plat only gamer or an Xbox gamer, so I can't think of anything he's covered that. He is like that though. I will tell you that much. He has no taste. He usually like gives bad games good scores though. That's the thing with him. Okay, as long as I don't die, as long as I can survive and get a hyper beam in there, I think I'll be fine. Ah, no, I'm gonna die. Shit. I lost. Please don't hit me. I just want to hyper beam you to death. Nope. I lost again. No. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Yeah, what did he give Saints Row 3? He didn't even review Mario Odyssey, which makes like him saying it's the second best game of the year kind of a strange thing. But I think he's trashed plenty of good Switch games. I think he put Double Dragon 4 on like his worst games list. I really like that one. What's another good example? There was another one. It wasn't ARMS. Let me see here. Yeah. He basically just goes on Reddit, looks at like the top rated comments, and then just bases his entire review on that. Like, I suspect he doesn't actually play a ton of the games he reviews, especially these days with like Delrith doing them. He's not even like subtle about it now. Like Delrith just makes these like rapid fire reviews, and then that's like all you hear from him regarding certain games. Like when the second Switch game you review is like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, something is wrong. Like you need to be reviewing more Switch games. It's just bizarre that he hasn't. I mean, I don't really like Saints Row 3 either. But, how do my shoes get so dirty? I'm gonna have to clean them off before I go to work tomorrow. face so dirty just by walking around. Well, I guess I was looking for that microphone that I still don't know where it is. So I was walking around my driveway a lot, like trying to figure out where they could have left it. Idiots. I guess I could Google Angry Joe reviews since we're talking about this. I need to stretch. Oops. Am I still live? Yep. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Angry Joe reviews. That's shit. Yeah, what are the scores? Games reviewed by Angry Joe. Okay, that's convenient. IMDb. This is an actual list. What? Wait, he doesn't do point scores though. Is this? Are these the actual score or just the yeah. Let's see here. Is there any list I can look at that shows his score and not like the Metacritic score? Because I don't care what the Metacritic score is. I want to make fun of him, not the Metacritic reviewers. All right. I don't know. I love how he plays all this shovelware, but then he can't be bothered to play something like Astral Chain. It's so frustrating. All right. Yeah. Angry Joe said he was excited for Luigi's Mansion 3, but we'll have to see whether or not he reviews it. He might surprise me, but I don't think he will. He said he was hyped for Astral Chain, and he didn't even talk about that one. So, oof. I'm angry about that. I'm very angry about that. But Luigi's Mansion 3 is like the greatest. So I'm so hyped for that one. We're gonna have to. Oof. Yeah. He's really bad about The Witcher 3. Holy crap. He is like the reason I hate that game so much. Well, one of the reasons. That game is not a 10 out of 10. Just unbelievable. Ugh. He gave Skyrim a 10 out of 10. Yeah, 2 now that I think about it. I can't even like finish Skyrim because it's so bad. Oof. Let's see. Yeah, I love Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I love that one. It's way better than the original. Ooh, Review Tech USA. Ooh, don't even get me started. Ooh, what is Rich up to these days? Besides like getting fatter.
This video is being.
He was like doing stuff. He did something in regards to the Switch. I think he's one of those guys who's always pushing these like, ooh, the Switch Pro rumors. They're on the way. Sony themselves just revealed some major PS5 news. No one cares. And no one even really cares. That video only has like 77,000 views. Like nobody cares about that announcement. Yep, Nintendo Switch Pro. The Nintendo Switch Pro, the fake leak, has gotten more views than that. More interesting info about the Nintendo Switch Pro. Oh no. Oh no. More interesting info about the Nintendo Switch Pro has been revealed, featuring Super Metal Dave 64. Are you serious? Are you serious? Super Metal Dave? Super Metal Dave. Dave the delusional. Like Dave the player. Holy shit. He's been doing this for years, and yet people will still buy into it. It's just Unbelievable. Which is like completely out of touch. Completely out of touch. Oh, man. Oh, man. How do you not know who Super Metal Dave is and why you shouldn't take him seriously? Like, this should have been obvious from, like, the Switch pre-release, the NX era, where he was, like, talking all this shit about how the Switch was going to be, like, a Super Switch and how it was going to be, like, have all these crazy, be the super powerful console and being able to run all these crazy third-party games, which, of course, didn't happen. It's I hate it. It's so ridiculous. All right, wait a minute. Wait, what do I normally use? Starman over here. Review Tech USA is the worst. Holy shit. Like, even just seeing, like, the video titles just, like, throw me into a rage. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable that he's that terrible. Oof. Yep, Skyrim is shit. Yep, I agree. Rich is actually losing weight. Is he? I don't think so. Hang on, let's look at this. I don't want to click on that video. I don't want to click on any of his videos. Blizzard isn't blocking you from deleting your account. That's not true from what I understand. So is everything he talked about fake? Oh, he's talking about Billy Mitchell. What? Is PlayStation in trouble for next generation? Ooh. Yeah, I'm tempted to click that one and see what he says. Yeah, let's see this up. Is PlayStation in trouble for next generation? Let's see. It's a week old.
This video is being brought to you by Satisfy Gaming. Make playing your Switch in portable mode super ergonomic with the Satisfy Gaming grips. They also have case and grip bundles that let you keep the grip on your Switch and store it safely in their high-quality cases. These grips make using your Switch in portable mode as comfortable as a Pro Controller. Use the code ReviewTech10 to save 10% off your entire order. Link below in the description. So remember how yesterday I said that everything's hunky-dory over at Sony and PlayStation? Everything's fine just because Sean Layden's leaving, right? Yeah.
He does look a little bit skinnier. But, like, Boogie 2988 kind of does too. Well, a lot, actually. And he's probably worse off than ever. So, I don't know. Well, he might relapse. I don't know. Oof.
It might not be fine.
I mean, he looked terrible last time I saw him. So.
Regarding internal shakeups in the PlayStation 5. I'm wearing this hat to hide the exposure.
Oh, the eternal shakeups. Yeah. I haven't talked about that at all. There are tons of layoffs going on at Sony right now that nobody's really talking about. There were, of course, like the major executive changes. There were like layoffs in the UK division. Sony is laying people off, and nobody wants to really admit that, but it is happening, and it's happening a lot, and it has been happening for years. They are having problems that they're not publicly admitting to. So that's something. Let's see here.
Skip it up and that up. So if you really start putting the pieces of the puzzle together into a bigger picture, yeah, it looks like there is some trouble over at Sony. You have Sony CEO Kaz Hirai, who retired early in 2018. John Codera, who was the president and CEO of PlayStation, stepped down earlier this year and was replaced by Jim Ryan, and John Codera became deputy president. And on September 30th, in a quick little tweet on PlayStation, it was announced that Sean Layden was stepping down from his position. Keep in mind that Sean Layden was part of Sony since 1987. I was 6 years old and had a mullet at that point when he first started with the company. So, yeah, something's up now if you put all the pieces together, and I'm an idiot for not really paying attention and missing all this. Now, there have been rumors for a while that there has been kind of a power struggle between Sean Layden and CEO and president of PlayStation, Jim Ryan. But now that he just kind of, I'm out of nowhere, people are like, oh, maybe there was some validity to those rumors. Because it's just, you would think that he would kind of did an announcement. And the guy's been with Sony for almost as long as I've been alive. I'm 38, and Sean Layden's been part of.
Whoa! He's only 38. What? I thought he was at least 40. What? He looks like he's in his 40s. He's 38. Did he say 38?
With Sony for almost as long as I've been alive. I'm 38, and Sean Layden's been part
He's 38. What?
The company since for 32 years.
He looks
when he started
ancient.
there, I was 6. Okay, you would think there would have been a little bit more of an emotional farewell, kind of like how Reggie did it for Nintendo. Like he made a departure video, and it was a really nice moment. You would think Sean would have kind of been the same way. It was just a tweet from PlayStation, and that was it. So it's kind of like there must.
Yeah. Don't believe Sony's sales numbers. They're fake. I've talked about this before, but
there's been something going on behind the scenes. Now, GameDaily.biz.
It's typical for them as a business to lie about their sales numbers in order to like promote themselves. They do this with their music all the time. I think the issue is that like people aren't aware that they do it with gaming. People like seem to be under this impression that like it's illegal to lie about sales numbers, and Sony's getting around that because they're Sony and this is their business model. So
spoke to a third-party publisher who
it hasn't actually sold 100 million.
Has a lot of, I guess, insider info over.
It's not even outselling the Switch now, like at all. It's amazing how hard the Switch is demolishing it in all over the world, and yet you're really supposed to buy that. The PS4 is doing better than it's not.
At PlayStation, he has a lot of direct contacts there, and he says that things aren't looking good for Sony behind the scenes. Sony is trying to do this big global reorganization, and there's a lot of people internally at Sony that fear this is going to cause problems for the PlayStation 5. Oh no.
Good.
It's like the launch of the PS3 all over again, but let's continue. Now,
it's like, a lot of SJWs, I think. So what I think is going to happen is that like a bunch of SJWs are going to take power. They're going to prioritize all this stupid bullshit, and like the PS5 is not going to be a desirable platform. SJWs are going to cause the death of PlayStation, and I cannot be more excited. It's going to be great.
Third-party publisher.
It's going to be great.
Remains anonymous because they don't want to burn bridges with Sony. But this is what the source had to say. This is the least amount of clarity we've ever had on a new console this close to transition. I believe that the global restructuring is exponentially exasperating the already difficult process of transitioning to a new generation. And now we're getting nervous, very nervous. Now, because Sony's trying to be so secretive about the PS5, even internal teams at PlayStation and Sony they're getting virtually no information about the new system, and third-party developers forget about it. They're being completely kept in the dark. Sony, I guess, just trying to
watch them still try to like support it anyway. Like, remember how like a big excuse for why the Wii U wasn't getting supported was like, oh, Nintendo didn't contact third-party developers. Like, no, that's not why.
Keep information from being leaked, to keep information from their competitors like Microsoft. Let's keep it real, Nintendo. And it's kind of frustrating third-party developers and internal teams, too, over at Sony as well. And according to third-party developers, this is the most they've ever been in the dark about a next-gen console from Sony than ever before. This is the most in the dark they've ever been, which is shocking because when you remember talking to Mark Cerny, the lead architect of the PS4, one of the things he did was really interact with third-party developers about what they wanted after the PlayStation 3. And now for them to kind of do a full reversal on that and keep third-party devs in the dark, it just, I don't know. It's like because Sony did really well with the PS4. It's like they're reverting back to their old ways again. Again, this is
they didn't do shit with PS4. Like, Xbox One just got a bunch of bad press, and that's all they just rode all that. Like, it had nothing to do with anything else. It was just the Xbox, like, floundering so hard. Oops.
Insider information. Maybe this third-party developer is just pissed off at Sony and wants to anonymously get back at them and put out misinformation. So we got to take it with a grain of salt. You never know. But when you tie all the pieces together, all of these major corporate shakeups over at PlayStation, and then this insider from a third party tells this to GameDaily.biz, you put the math together and it's like, there's some truth to it. There's that saying, like the article says, where there's smoke, there's at least some fire, and there has to be something going on behind the scenes for all these corporate shakeups to be happening. Now, does this mean straight up doom and gloom for the PS5? No. Everything, by the time the console launches, everything could be sorted out and everything will be fine, and they'll have all of the leadership in place. And we already know that dev kits are out there. I just talked about it yesterday. There's already dev kits out for the PlayStation 5, and people are already working on games, and I'm sure they know how the architecture is. But you also want strong leadership with experience in place that knows what they're doing. And to see like Sean Layden just leave out of nowhere, a man who's been with the company, like I said, for almost as long as I've been alive, does cause concern. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. We'll wait and see if this power struggle eases down or calms down before the PS5 is released. And if it doesn't, will it affect the PlayStation 5? Is there something that maybe these guys know that retired from Sony or left Sony or the shakeup that they know about the PlayStation 5 that's concerning them and they disagree with it, and that's why they're leaving?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm
Everyone
listening to
who
this. UTech USA is like, he's a hack, but he's not wrong. PlayStation is like completely screwed. I mean, it's been coming for a while, right? Like, they've been closing studios forever. They don't really have a ton of IPs. They're running out of third parties to steal from Nintendo. People can always rage all they want about Monster Hunter World, but that's really all they could even really do was just pay, just buy off Capcom, make Monster Hunter World not come to Nintendo, and just sort of try to keep that going. It's just, ugh. Oof. Yeah. I think I'm almost done streaming here. I'm exhausted. I'm just tired of talking. I need a break, a week-long break. I guess I'll be back next week. Oof. Hopefully something interesting will happen then. I don't know. Do you think I should stream occasionally throughout the week? I don't know. Probably not. Like maybe I should focus on Twitch streaming just for fun. Doing other things, yeah. I guess live streams like this, Chiller7. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff for me to do. Oof. I don't often have time to just sit and like talk about this. Oof. Oof. Let's see. Maybe I should have just switched out Hitmonlee instead of just letting him die. Let me see here. Oh. Coming to Europe. Yeah, brain training is not okay. When's it coming to America though? I'm seeing like release dates for January 3rd, 2020. That's kind of soon. That's for the European audience. It might be different for the Americans. We might get it before or after. I can't imagine it would be afterward. All right. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm done. I've run out of things to talk about. I think I'm going to end the stream here. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I had a blast. You can follow me at my YouTube channel, subscribing here. I talk about gaming news a lot, issues, personal things, all sorts of good stuff. And I also have a Twitch channel, Super Nintendo Power. Check me out. I'll probably stream probably later tonight, honestly. There's lots of things going on right now, so we're. I'm very, very excited about what's to come. Thank you.